Why not? We might get somebody to join. Who the hell knows?
Hello. Welcome.
Who knows?
I should actually go look at
Putting
the
the link out with it, and I'm gonna... shit, wrong button. Son of a bitch, I did it again.
Does this mean we can't talk about religion now that we started?
No, we can. We have been. Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
But it's the Shuffle 13. You can't do that.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's the rules.
Yay! I think I put exception in the title.
It's the rules 13. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, but our buddy Epi had a debate.
Yeah, and he won. Sort of.
Kind of.
You see, I don't think
I'll leave that up to the decide. I'm not going to say I won.
Yeah, I think that's a bad idea because, you know, that makes you sound a bit condescending in the dick.
Exactly. From what I've heard, I at least, from what people have told me, though, I've at least held my own, and I'm
did really fucking well considering how insane the topic it was.
Yeah, next week I'm going to defend the Holocaust. I kid.
I'm going to beat you now, boy.
Okay, I would never do that.
I just fucked up, clicked the wrong thing, so I'm having to resync with the chat. Pain in the ass thing.
I think I'm kind of like Christopher Hitchens so far as I think I'm like Christopher Hitchens so far I like to be a contrarian.
Oh, dude, when you said, can you try to help me prep for this thing? And I'm like, what topic it is? I damn near shat myself.
I remember you always used to complain about how Veckel and G-Man would always screw this up, and it would reflect badly on the Judaic background of the scripture. And I was like, you know what? If there's anyone who probably wants this debate to go on as much as I do, it's probably Shadow, at least for the sake of Christians.
Well, it was really good to see a Christian actually really bring it instead of just this. Oh my God, they were so fucking bad, the two of them both. And Veckel spent like hours talking to Gavriel to prep for his shit, and then threw it all out the fucking window. I mean, that was fucking maddening for both me and Gavriel, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, okay, he gets everything that he needs with, because that fucking exception makes a huge difference, and it not really properly being brought in did frustrate me even this time, but even without that, you did well.
Yeah, actually, I wonder what G-Man and Veckel thought of the debate if they watched it.
I wouldn't.
Don't they not like you?
No, they don't, but on the one hand, it's a divided topic. On the one hand, they don't like me, but on the other hand, they don't like atheists who go against God.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but as far as they're concerned, you are an atheist because you're not their brand of Christian.
And plus, you're a decent person. You're like a wonderful, lovely person.
Yeah, gosh, I mean, this is mind melting for them because it's like, which do I despise more, the atheist or the Catholic?
I think they just like the fact maybe they'll go with me because I defended the biblical position, not necessarily because I'm Catholic.
Yeah, but you brought in that dirty Jewy stuff.
Yeah.
Bad joke. Had to do it, though.
13, if you had monetization, it would have been taken away.
Yay!
Say goodbye.
Fuck monetization.
Yeah.
I get my Bitcoin, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. I got my purpose. Not in that way.
Yeah, I did. I actually did my my 15-day test cash out yesterday, and the numbers are closer to accurate than I suspected.
Awesome.
So, yay, I actually have a metric that's a metric. Instead of just numbers that are just kind of floating around in the ether.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought so. So, yay, motherfucker.
My mine are sold tonight.
Well, hopefully you actually get rid of it. That'd be sick.
Yeah, he.
So did you guys?
I'm sorry. 1 second. So yeah, he's going to be able to get his 3D printer, and that should help out his train channel. So yay, Cliff.
Yeah.
You're helping him. You're helping him in so many ways. 13. Sorry, Epi. Go ahead.
So Cliff, I'm going to take it you're going to be 3D printing some trains then.
Yeah, train stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, like a full fucking train, mind you, but you know the little fiddly bits you need to customize them.
Well, I may end up doing whole train thingies, you know, wagons and coaches and, as well as little detail parts. It depends, because the problem is that 3D printing kind of leaves like a grainy effect. So what I might be able to do is 3D print flat pieces, and then use a bit of filler on them, sand them down for the flat side pieces that I need. So I might be able to do it. I will see what happens.
Let me change the size on the font on this. Yeah, I haven't properly announced it or anything like that, but yeah, it's there. There we go. Sorry.
So are you going to be using this to 3D print your actual trains, the ones you're going to lay on the track, or is it more along the lines of scenery and stuff, like trees or people?
Not trees.
Fuck trees,
people,
man. You buy those.
Yeah, you can get trees and people. No, it'd be like, for example, imagine I'm doing walls. Imagine I'm doing like a stone wall or something. Well, I could 3D print that and just print it out rather than having to, get bits of plastic and try and, make them what they are. I can customize them for exactly what I need. Platform surfaces, detail components such as line-side cabinets where the electrical boxes are for the signals and things like that. So yeah, a whole pile of stuff.
Ronan Farrow has
Shit. Sorry. There we go.
But there are so many things you can't get, which would be nice to be able to have. And even if I end up using it for mock-ups, because the 3D printer I'm getting is a fairly average one. So if I can get a sorry, there's a company called Shapeways, and they have much better 3D printer with much better fidelity. So I can create a mock-up of it to test the size and fit and things like that. And then once that's done, I can use the same piece of, the same drawing, send it off to Shapeways, and it, instead it cost me, $3 or something like that for the part.
Yes.
There we go.
By the way, sorry if this is a slight change in topic, but did anyone watch Black Panther yet?
Oh my god, I loved it.
No, I didn't go.
Awesome.
I didn't go because I'm too white.
Okay, Sargon from Akkad. I watched his video talking about it. What a fucking dumbass! The son of a bitch clearly doesn't know what an antagonist is.
Yeah.
But I don't want to steal the black joy from black viewers.
Ay.
The thing that makes me talk about it is how many people are losing their shit because it's a black hero. And there's mostly almost all black people in it. And it's like, it's set in Africa, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's a set in an isolationist tribe in Africa, you fucking morons, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
it was also such a conservative movie, too. It's about a monarch who rules over an isolated people who do not engage in any trade or commerce with the outside world, and he does battle with an anti-colonialist revolutionary. What's so liberal about it either?
Oh my gosh! It was just a good movie. I'm sorry, it was good. Are there some flaws with it? Yes, there are some definite flaws with it. Most of them fairly minor, and a couple of them. Okay, it's a lot of people are talking about. Oh, it's a African utopia. No, it's fucking not. It's not actually a utopia. It's fucking not. There's a caste system. They're ruled over by a king. All it takes is because of some of the primitive roots for some asshole to come along that's of royal blood, challenge the king and win, and then be a complete fucking douchebag. So, I mean, there are definite fucking problems with this culture. That, and due to the fact that they've been resisting outside influence, there are things that they could have taken from other government models that could have served them well, but they haven't fucking adopted any of them.
Hello, Vincent Jones.
Because they're so focused on tradition, but in and of itself, it's a great little flick. But yes, it's a very technologically advanced society, but it's not as civically advanced as it could be.
Not only that, but it's not technological. It's not even if it was a quote-unquote utopia, it's not a utopia by dint of the population being black or by having some superior racial quality. It's by dint of the fact that vibranium was put under the country's core, and they mine it and use it to support their advanced technology. That's the reason. It's the exact opposite of a racialist flick. There isn't. Like, honestly, my one complaint about the movie is it could have used more fight scenes. That's about it.
Actually, I've heard that, but I've also heard people complain about there being too many fight scenes. So what the fuck? I don't. This is the thing: is you're gonna have people bitch no matter what the hell somebody does in a movie.
I mean, that's my one complaint. If someone feels that there needs to be one less fight scene, I'm not sure which one should have been gotten rid of. They were all pretty good.
Oh, I've heard two people complain about the fusion of the African culture, you know, the tribal dress and this kind of stuff with with futuristic technology, and I thought that was kind of a bullshit thing. I think they did a good job of trying to merge those.
You know, my favorite character was probably I don't remember her name, but T'Challa's sister was pretty hilarious.
Oh my god, I thought the sister was great. Okay, okay, now you have this guy that's a king. His little sister is a little sister and acts like one. She's kind of bratty and gives him shit here and there.
Right.
Black Panther. Hello, eulogy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Kevin.
It was. I enjoyed myself, and honestly,
I also liked it wasn't another one of these the world is about to fucking end Marvel movies.
Exactly. It was more along the lines of this country is about to end outwards.
Well, I mean, I had a little Casino Royale in there, a little quasi-spy stuff. You had all kinds of different elements that I thought worked well together. By the way, we're on, Kevin.
Oh, you know the CIA.
Hi, I'm on my phone. We're in the car on the way.
Oh my god.
By the way, I should add something else about Black Panther. The CIA agent was pretty good a character as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I really the fact that he became a pilot and.
Hang on. A comment in the chat from Abed. Actually, we're talking about Black Panther.
That's what I said.
You know what? It just occurred to me.
Sorry, shit, I don't care about.
It was a good movie. It was
Better not be the one driving, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin's always been like, they're talking about movies.
Well, no, it's a comic book movie, and I don't give a shit about that. And also, like, the whole internet politisphere has its panties in a twist over it, and I just don't fucking care.
Kevin, you were stealing black joy from the black viewers.
Oh, fuck that noise. That's the thing is, the movie in its core isn't really about black, white, anything. This hidden culture could have been any race, any color. It doesn't ultimately matter. Now, it happens to be a black culture, and I guess that's significant. And I do know that there, from people I've heard talking about it, a lot of people that were black that were fucking thrilled about this movie. And honestly, I think part of that is that for once you have a movie that's not almost entirely white people.
Yep.
If you look at U.S. history, for example, we don't spend that time talking about the black heroes of history, which would be kind of nice to give somebody for black youth to look up to. And we just don't do enough of that.
And it's called the Black Panther.
Ironically enough, yeah.
Ironically enough.
I mean, if this movie happened to be set in some isolated place in Scandinavia up in Europe, I would still like this movie. Like, that part doesn't really, it would be, aside from the racial component, this would still be a good movie. Whether it's in Africa, in Scandinavia, in South America, wherever, it would still be riveting.
Well, as, you know, one of the few white people in the theater, I can't recall a single time that I felt uncomfortable being there. So it couldn't have been that politically charged.
No, not at all.
Hello, Christian Smith.
Hello. Yeah, we're going to give you guys a view of our drive until we get home.
Okay.
Okay, do me a favor, but put the other two wheels in the ground, because that's really, going on two wheels like that's a little distracting, Kevin.
You're a little distracting, Squirrel Man.
I'm talking about the angle of the camera, just giving you shit. Oh,
maybe
there
I should qualify my comment about 13 taking away my spanner, which I said was perfectly okay and fine with.
Yeah.
I got to ban the guy I wanted to ban. So.
You banned the guy that was pissing you off.
Yeah.
Incidentally, for what it's worth, there is a link in the description. Doorbell rings, yada, 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 corporate hangout, blah.
Hello, Spackle.
We love you, Spackle.
I don't know Spackle.
Spackle,
I think she's good people, though, as far as I know.
Spackle's cool.
I know Spackle's cool.
What we need is more decent Christians online. We have Spackle, we have Epi, we have Jade, we have a few, but it seems like we have very few these days.
Am I the most conservative out of all the Christians you guys like?
Did you talk about the Golden Gorilla yet?
I mentioned actually in Spackle's hangout yesterday. I mentioned the Golden Gorilla.
Oh.
Amber and I still have to sit down. It's been a busy weekend. We have the kids, so we haven't gotten down the little promo plot. But yeah, the Golden Gorilla Award is definitely going to be a thing because we need to basically acknowledge the people that aren't assholes, that are Christians, and I can't think of a better way to do it than doing an award. Granted, in this case, we might actually see about having 3D printed an actual award to give to people. That'd be kind of interesting.
We're gonna have Jackie's. I'm gonna have at the very least, have Jackie model like IG's head and cover it in gold.
Oh,
and we'll send them the picture. But
oh, that's kind of intense there.
all right, we're almost home, so I'll get on my computer soon.
Okay, log off and actually pay attention to the road, because I hope that car isn't moving like the phone.
He's driving.
I'm driving.
I
I just want to tell you
Sorry, go ahead.
that I don't qualify for the Golden Gorilla because MK booted me from his chat. I'm not allowed to in his live
And we
chat
care about that? That's
Because-
a metric how.
because I'm snarky.
Yay.
Yeah, but you're worth talking to, and you actually are one of the people that when we're sitting there bad-mouthing varied Christians, you're always exempt, which makes you eligible.
And that's few and far between, really.
I just want to tell you that Max exhibited a lot of patience while dealing with Brenda today. Brenda's very annoying.
Okay, I missed this.
What was Brenda doing?
It was the after show. She kept badgering me on about. She wanted me to defend slavery some more, so I did. And then she started harping about what does goodness mean, so I gave an answer. Then she said that. Then she accused me of logical fallacies, and then she accused me of. And then she, when I kept giving definition, she accused me of just being slippery and stuff. And it was pretty hard because I really didn't have a frame of reference of where to go. At least if I knew the answer and had time to sit down and formulate a response, it would be easier. But as Shadow knows, I have this habit when I get caught off guard of just going into tailspins. And that's what made it exceedingly difficult.
Yeah.
So
that's what
they
she
tried a
thinks
corner
on.
game.
I do have to give you props, though. During the debate, you caught yourself and stopped yourself from continuing the spin. You might not have finished your point, but you at least stopped yourself from just spiraling out of control. And I got to give you mad props on that one.
Thank you.
Hey, Vincent.
I
think
really
that's the thing
love
with
people who
debates.
try to corner. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think that's the thing with debates in general. I don't think they're extremely honest for inquiry. I think it's just about winning in tactics and psychological warfare.
That's a conversation we were having like offline. Is that like a lot of us prefer like a discussion as opposed to formal debate because it seems a little dishonest.
That was exactly what I was talking about before. About Sean Cahill and I are going to have a conversation, and I said, look, I don't want to have a strict, timed, formatted, thing because, it just doesn't serve well to have a conversation to get to the heart of the matter that is being discussed. It's an opportunity for someone to grandstand, rather than actually, well, like I say, address the point that's being, discussed.
Actually, one second, let me just respond to the outside chat. Rictus, going back in time a little bit further, Epicurus the Greek.
Yeah, Epi.
Why does Maximus's thing say the Catholic guest?
Well, guest is everyone because it's a corporate hangout, so everyone other than the host shows up as guest. But he's decided to change his fucking name again, haven't you?
I changed my name because I wanted to open up a new channel with.
You change your name every goddamn week.
I liked Max Hangs Out. That was a good channel name.
I liked Maximus Confesses.
Maximus Confesses was cool too.
Actually, I liked Epicurus A Greek too. That was actually just not bad at all.
Yeah.
I think you guys are gonna like this new name as soon as you get used to it.
Was it Catholic Fusion?
The Catholic Fusionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just It's like Prudent wanting me to call him fraction of a dot. That's just not happening. I'm just gonna call him Prudent. You're just gonna call Epi from.
What do you mean you're not going to take the opportunity to use the insulting version, which is fraction of an adult?
No, I like Prudent too much.
Oh, Cliff, that was savage. Not gonna lie, that was savage.
We pick on each other anyway. It's part of the job description, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. The holy guest.
By the way, I'm pretty sure.
I know, right? I'm the holy guest. The holy guest is in the room. Do you feel it?
I think. I think CF is a nice short way of just referring to me, though.
It sounds like a cough.
Do you have
It's
CF?
like a sneeze, dude. Sif.
Do you suffer from CF?
Oh, there we go.
Hey, Faithless. There's a lot of people here.
Yeah, I got to side with Faithless with Max Hangouts actually just being simple and catchy.
Yeah. You see, personally, I think the only reason he changed it is so that JD can't say, shut the fuck up, Max.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I didn't even know that, but now that that is the case, I am definitely...
And now it'll be shut the fuck up Catholic. Better, worse?
Oh yeah, people are gonna like the reformists are gonna attack you on sight.
Yeah, it's not like I could just hide my Catholicism until they ask for it. Now it's just, you're a Catholic, right? Fucking yeah.
Can you imagine, it takes the middle ground out of, the Matt Slick saying, so what are you?
I love my semi-undisclosed thing.
Actually, kind of weird observation. Saying IG, of course, was referenced to some degree earlier because of the whole Golden Gorilla thing. He was the only person I knew named Christian that actually was a Christian, now that I think of it.
Yeah, that was I used to bust his balls because Neo said that a bunch. He's like, your name's Christian and you're a Christian, and I don't bust IG's balls all the time about that. So your name is Christian and you're a Christian, even though I knew IG for like 5 years.
Yeah.
See.
Oh, incidentally, I need to point something out. We were on one of Holy's shows the other day, myself and a few others, and we were shown a message pertaining to raw apologetics, and it was bullshit. It wasn't actually a message from his son. He's very much alive, and put up a video going, what the fuck, what's with this rumor?
Oh, good.
So I spent 6 hours mourning him for no fucking reason. Fuck off.
Well, and the funny thing is, too, is that, like, I think it was supposed to be some sort of sick joke on him. Like, him and Ran, I think, have some sort of falling out. And he was trying to do something to Ran. And then, to me, that's just chocolate atheist kind of stuff. It's just complain stupid.
Yeah, it's horseshit.
That's atheism defendant kind of stuff.
Yeah,
At this point, I'm convinced that there's some really horrible fundies out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing, and this was part of the vague inspiration for the whole Golden Gorilla Award. Is it goes back to that expression of Gandhi's, "I like your Christ. I do not so much like your Christians. They're so unlike your Christ." Because the majority of them are fucking wretched. There's very few of you that I'm like, you're great people too.
What about the Mormons? Everyone seems to like the Mormons, even though they think they're the craziest of us.
Honestly,
but they're willing to be nice sometimes.
I have a generally different opinion because they knock on my fucking door.
Oh, right. True.
Can I just say something about Raw real quick? Because I generally have a different opinion than most people about Raw, because my first interaction with him wasn't on YouTube. It was in a Minecraft server. And him and his wife were actually super lovely people. And I thought they were great. And then I started interacting with them on YouTube, and it became a little different. But I still think I like Raw.
Well, okay.
Well,
here's the thing. The whole "I'm not actually dead" thing after somebody, at least under his account name, claiming it to be his son, said that he'd passed. Yeah, I think I have the right to be a little pissy about that.
No, you have the right to be very pissed off. I'm just saying, my opinion of him is slightly different. I just had to say that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've had offline talks with him, and he actually proposed a really weird theological argument over why some are chosen and some aren't, and I have to give him some props. It was an interesting argument. I
What was
don't
the
know that okay. Think of it actually, if I remember correctly, and this is just very loosely paraphrased. If you look at an assembly line and you see bottles of shampoo going down the line, and there's a problem with a spigot, so not every bottle's getting filled, you end up with a bunch of empty bottles coming down the end of the line. And he was basically saying that the people that are chosen are the bottles that are full of shampoo, and those that aren't the elect are the ones that didn't get filled properly.
Yeah, but which one is God, the machine or the man? Because if he's the machine, then he's pretty much choosing them arbitrarily. But if he's the man who's choosing them, then he isn't.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, Jackie.
Kevin's undoing my necklace.
Hello, Jordy. Hello.
Hello. Why are you counting me out?
No, Mike, no, I want to put that away.
Cute.
Stop
Okay,
it.
you do know we're live, right? So.
I do know you're live. Hello.
Okay, just so you know. If you didn't.
I think he's aware.
But yeah, I mean, I can argue against that perspective, but from his theological perspective, it makes sense, and that was like, huh, cool.
Whose perspective you talking about? Calvinism?
We're referring to Raw.
Oh, God. Oh, did we talk about people who pretend that they're dead and tell the community they're dead, just drum up sympathy?
We were just getting on that in the
Okay.
There might be more to the story. It might be Rand Campbell involvement because there was a war between the two of them. I don't know.
Like,
yeah.
Rand is like a troll?
Yeah, that was one of the three things, if you were going to run a shuffle tonight, three things I wanted to get to were the Golden Gorilla, Raw shit, and I was going to give an update on World War Steve, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I don't want the whole hangout to be about that, but I'll mention it.
No. It's the equivalent of hitting the button. He'll get some random reference later on.
Right. Yeah, go on with the Raw shit.
In terms of the Raw shit, I actually did not know that Raw. I wasn't aware that Raw did this, but oddly enough, this isn't the first time someone faked their own death on the internet that I've been made aware of.
Nope. Not even in this community. Hey, Navik.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Raul did it, and who is that? Burns, at least he made a video saying he was going to kill himself, and then there was the whole ketchup thing where he pretended that he did.
And then when people called the men in the nice white coats to have him evaluated, he claimed atheists were coming to get him.
Yeah, that was Mark and Botten who did that. But they did that because they were worried about him.
Hang on a second, Cliff. This is where you get your soapbox.
Yeah, Cliff would know better than I would.
We're talking about suicide and faking it?
Yeah,
Burns. We're talking about Jason Burns.
That's not quite accurate. What happened was that Burns made this video suggesting, I'm leaving or whatever it was, and suggesting, he was going to do some harm to himself. So Jim Gardner phoned up.
It was Jim. Yeah, you're right. It was Jim.
Yeah, he phoned up Greater Manchester Police to say, look, I'm worried about this guy. Greater Manchester Police went to his home, and there's Burnsy rambling on, about the atheists and how awful they are and how they're cyberbullying him, etc., etc. And so the guy goes away and says, okay, he's not at risk of harm. He's just a little bit, probably could do with some social care, something like that, So he then goes and writes his report. And eventually it goes up the chain of command and ends up, it goes to the NHS, who contact his doctor, who writes a letter to Burns saying, can you come in for a checkup? Burns turns up for the checkup and says, word's got to me that you've been making videos on YouTube or something about atheists or whatever. Jason Burns doesn't hear that part, doesn't follow the dots where they go. He assumed that the atheist former doctor to get me sectioned. Which can't even happen anyway.
No.
It doesn't work like that. The only people that can section you is, it's like this person is at risk to themselves or others, so they end up being taken into custody effectively and, test checked. Effectively, they take you and, do an examination and talk to you and things like that. And, it's a risk assessment effectively. But the doctors do that. the people that are properly diagnosed for that.
No, the atheists do that, Cliff. The atheists decided that I'm insane.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's say Cotton had nothing to do with it at all.
What country is this?
The UK. Burns is in the UK.
So in the UK, they can, against your will, lock you up and section you if you're at risk of killing yourself?
So, yeah, same with most U.S. states. I don't know if it's a nationwide thing, but in California, the law is known as Section 5150.
I don't know if I agree with that laws exist.
It varies from state to state. It's Section 8 up in Massachusetts, if I remember correctly. But
yeah, it's in Pennsylvania. That's why Rev flips out about it.
It's if you are a danger to yourself or others.
Yeah, pretty much.
Others I can understand, but as long as you don't leave a big mess for the rest of us to clean up, I truly believe people have the right to die.
I would tend to agree with you, but it's a pretty standard. I don't know of any state offhand that doesn't have it. All I know is it's not a federal law. Each state has sort of their own version of it.
I don't know about this right to die thing. I mean, you're still causing havoc with your family and your friends and your children. And
see, I'm waiting for family members to die off before I do because I don't want to fucking. I don't want them crying and bitching about it. You know.
That's the thing. Most of the people who do get placed on psychiatric hold under laws like 5150, in the majority of cases afterward, they tend to be grateful that they were prevented from killing themselves.
Yeah.
Sure, there's some people that they want to die, they're determined to die, and ultimately, if that's what they want, then they should be allowed to do that. But most people who, attempt suicide, they might be going through some shit, and they're better off, like, once they are prevented from going through with it, they realize, hey, I'm glad it didn't work.
Oh, shit. It's a distraction now.
The libertarian in me wants to side with Katie, but the conservative in me wants to side with well, not Katie right now. It seems like Katie's the minority in this.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that, infants are going around killing themselves. What do you care as a conservative? You only care about them when they're young.
SIDS, maybe they are.
Right, there you go. Yeah, SIDS is just suicide. We need to start that.
No, it comes. It actually goes back to the point I made with the hangout on slavery. You can't give what's not yours nor take what's not yours. So, and because everyone's like,
okay.
But, I mean, you should,
well, fine. I'm gonna counter that dogma with another dogma then. The children that die of SIDS are actually willing themselves to death because they weren't born into either a Mormon or a Scientology family, depending which religion you're part of.
Scientology family?
Yeah.
I guess they're pro-choice. Pro-life?
No, they believe in reincarnation.
My only point was nobody's life is theirs to own. No one actually owns their life, therefore it's not. The debate's over, Max.
No one actually owns their life. I don't understand that statement.
Okay.
If there's such a thing as reincarnation, I wouldn't be reincarnated as an arsehole.
Oh, dude, the Scientology view of reincarnation is fucking hilarious because you basically get to decide what you want to be reincarnated as. And, of course, this shows not only the religion is false, but if it was true, then I'd be, like, signing the fuck on the line because I'd want to come back as Godzilla in my next life. Fuck that shit.
My question is, if you could choose what you come back as, then why does everybody have a stage in their past lives where they were a clam?
Ay.
What's after the clam? The Weeper?
Yeah, something like that. It's so fucking weird. I know it's jellyfish, clam, then something that I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then they eventually get the Piltdown Man. I'm like,
that was a
hoax. Yes. What the fuck?
The Piltdown Man doesn't exist because it doesn't exist, and they made it up, guys.
Oh my gosh, the Scientology apologetic for why they have Piltdown Man, that book's fucking hilarious. They're like, well, it wasn't specifically Piltdown Man, but it was like Piltdown Man. I'm like, dude, there was no like Piltdown Man. It was fucking made up, dude.
Kevin, you've been handed your time to talk about what's his face.
I wonder how much money I could make if I went to a place where suicide was completely legal and people had the right to die. And I start an assisted suicide clinic.
Actually, there was a Twilight episode about reincarnation in which, well, suicide was still technically illegal, going out and just laying down to die of fucking exposure wasn't. And the whole thing was, I don't like this life, so I'm going to die because hopefully the next one will be a little bit less shit.
So it's, Heathens, can you explain this pit down man thing with the
Scientologists?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the books, and yes, this is one of the ones I covered in my video series, was called History of Man. Now, the writing of this book was done not by L. Ron Hubbard, but his son, after L. Ron had loaded him up with fuck tons of hallucinogenic drugs. And one of the past lives they list was Piltdown Man.
It was amphetamines. It was his son. It wasn't written by his son. Most of the content in it, as I understand it, was dictated or transcribed from some shit that his son was saying.
Regardless, he was tripping balls.
Yeah, he was doped up on speed and was just rambling like this horse shit. And Elron was like, "Oh, this is really good." I mean, he's channeling, some channeling shit. Like, and that is what led to History of Man. So, yeah.
Yeah, fucked up shit, man. But yeah, one of the past lives they refer to as Piltdown Man, and it's hilarious because it talks about Piltdown Man eating his wife and her poisoning him or some shit like that. It was fucking weird. I don't know. You'd have to watch the video. I don't remember. It's been too long.
Here, let me find the video for you guys. Yeah, Red's comments in that history, because I re-listened to that History of Men video from time to time, and Red's comments going through that shit were just fucking epic.
Oh, she had when I was going through it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask you to give me a hand with this. And what I had was I had her go through the highlighter, and she just to highlight the sections that we should go through and reference. And she's like, holy crap, I'm going to be part of this video. I'm like, you don't have to. She's like, no, I'm going to be part of it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Hey, I need to address the outside chat now.
Okay, Kevin, mute while she. Wait. Kevin, mute for a second. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did.
Fractal Church, there are 2 Christians in here, so this is not an atheist circle church.
Thank you.
And I'm not an atheist, I'm an autotheist.
I'm an apatheist.
I thought you were agtheist.
I'm agnostic. Agnostic apatheist.
Okay.
Jackie, who are you addressing?
I'm a dilatheist.
Yeah, who are you talking to?
Some guy in the YouTube chat.
Dipstick in the chat that's assuming that everyone in here is an atheist.
Fractal Church.
I don't see that guy.
Me neither.
It's in the if you click on 13's
you'll see it on here at least.
You'll see it there.
Maybe y'all have
I
him
guess
blocked.
I'm blocked.
No, turn up top chat and go to live chat. There's a little drop down.
Just
I see it in 13's thing, but I don't see him in.
Oh.
No,
he's probably got you blocked because you're an evil atheist.
Probably.
My friend Hunt. Oh, by the way, my friend Haunted Shore just got the link, so he might be coming in.
Oh. Anyone's welcome. We do have the link down below. Now, mind you, this is a corporate hangout, which means 2 things. 1, it's snipe proof because there is no external chat. And number 2, a little doorbell will ring, and I will have to click accept if I deem to let you in.
Oh, yeah, live chat. That's so fucking dumb. You have to choose live chat instead of top chat, because if you choose top chat, it filters shit out.
Huh.
Like, it's been doing that with YouTube comments, too. Like, under my the video that I made about Steve a few days ago, like, a couple comments won't even appear if you use the default, like, top chat setting. You have to go live chat. Like, it's not just a sorting thing. It'll make some of it disappear. Or all comments, rather. Like, fuck you, Google. Don't tell me what is allowed to appear under my own video.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I do actually have a couple things filtered on this. So there are a couple keywords that if you type them in, it's going to say fuck you and not let you post it. I had to add a couple the other day. One starts with an N, the other starts with a K.
Nigger kike?
Yeah.
Well, this is demonetized.
It wasn't going to be
He doesn't
monetized to begin
monetize.
with. I don't.
I know.
He can't.
I know.
He's under 500. He's under 1,000 subs. He can't.
No,
I
no. I can monetize them. I just can't do super chat. Not that
No,
I want
you
to
can't
super chat
monetize
the way-
it. You cannot monetize on YouTube anymore unless no monetization whatsoever if you're under 1,000 subs.
I got set Haunted Shore. Okay. Hang on a second.
Yeah,
let
let
me kill a couple things right here before I let them in, and we'll see who they are.
Yeah.
He's a friend of.
I think you killed one too many times.
Oh, okay, one of yours. Okay, then I will add those bars back in then.
Hunted Short, be on your best behavior and don't fuck this up. You're on here under my name.
Well, your name always changes, so it really doesn't matter. You can just make a new account.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
5. There we go.
The next one needs to be a bit more epic, though.
There we go.
Epicurus.
There's one. Let's add the other area.
I remember the first hangout that I saw Max in when with
Jason Burns?
no Floyd, sorry. And he basically said, you know, towards the end of his presentation, he said that Epicurus, a Greek philosopher, because of course you were still using you know, Epicurus, a Greek.
Right.
So basically use your name in a part of his dialogue. And I remember you bursting out laughing at that.
What's the point of top chat versus live chat? I don't like this.
It's so like top chat filters out certain things that Google decides are inappropriate.
Really? That's fucking stupid.
That's pretty much what it is.
Maybe it's chat regulars.
This is the Insomnia
No.
Shuffle. This is by definition inappropriate. Come on, guys.
Well, yeah, it says some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. So Jackie's comment that said penis and Obaid's comment that said "fuck you."
But Fractal Truth's comment, I guess because it's WTF.
I have no clue.
Possibly.
And incidentally, yes, SpongeBob, as long as you misspell it, you're perfectly fine. I don't care.
Actually, you know what it's for? Like, you know what it actually is for? I can understand why. When you get like 10,000 people in like one of these chats, and then you have everyone spamming emojis and stupid shit, it probably saves from a lot of that.
I don't know. I mean, back when I had that weird assault, so to speak, from those soccer fans, I guess that spam would have been filtered out.
Well, this is a new thing. Like, I've only started seeing this in the past like month or two, honestly.
Well, that's because like YouTube has been like putting more into.
Yeah, they're trying to fucking sanitize everything. I fucking hate Google.
Well, you know, because of YouTube Red, ultimately, they're trying to compete with places like Hulu and Netflix without realizing that Hulu and Netflix are Hulu and Netflix. You're something else. Fuck off.
Yeah, really.
I mean, straight up a place for the amateur assholes to give their opinions.
Apparently,
I'm an amateur asshole.
Apparently, like YouTube TV is not that bad, and you get like unlimited, like what you call it, VOD, so you can like record whatever you want. That's actually sort of sick.
But can you transfer it to other devices?
Probably. If you can get it on like if you can get it on mobile, you can probably get it on PC.
Yeah, still don't give a shit.
Or on desktop. But you don't watch very much TV though, 13.
I don't watch TV, period. I really don't. I mean, I'll watch some Netflix, I'll watch some Hulu, but generally speaking, no, I don't watch TV. I don't see the point.
But I would say, sorry, Speckle.
I just said I don't dig Hulu. I just looked over Hulu and I was like, nope, they're still disappointing.
Now, Hulu's had some decent stuff. It's been hit or miss, but they've had some good stuff. But I mean, the one thing with Netflix, I was meaning to talk about. Netflix does have some good stuff, but the thing that I've kind of noticed with them is that it doesn't seem to take long before I've watched everything worth watching.
Yeah, Netflix is notorious for only having old stuff and crappy stuff, but they've had every now and then they've had a couple of good things. Like they had the anime Bacano on there for a while.
They've been doing good with the shows. They're shining with the shows.
They used to have a lot more movies on there, but they've been pulling stuff.
Well, here's the problem too. Like Disney now is going to make one, and it's going to be a streaming service. So everything that's a Disney, and they have their fingers everywhere, is going to get yanked.
Yeah, Disney.
Disney is evil.
Yeah,
Disney was good in the 90s.
Not really.
I enjoyed the Disney ripoffs in the 90s.
Aladdin was great.
They didn't have any original stories, but still, they presented their stories well.
How do you not like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin? Come on.
Right?
Okay, I've never been much of a
Man.
fan of Beauty and the Beast, quite frankly. Aladdin, it'd be nice if they actually told Aladdin.
You mean the one where he's Chinese?
What, the original one? No, we're talking about the Disney one.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Shadow said he wanted them to teach the original, to tell about the original Aladdin. I'm like, the Chinese one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're not going to do that. You can actually see all the original ones for free on YouTube still. Little Mermaid's original one's up there. Aladdin's up there. I think even the
hang on.
is.
Quick shout out to the chat. Faithless, yes. Emperor's New Groove, I did enjoy. I love that one.
Well, see, I don't like Emperor's New Groove or
I
Hercules.
saw that.
It was all right.
Hercules was good.
Especially Hercules.
Isn't Aladdin Lennator having sex?
What?
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
I didn't catch that. Can you repeat?
Mulan was
Why did you
good.
say
Yeah.
that? Why
I
did you
got
say
the
that?
joke, but I
Mulan's
want to
good.
give it back.
Cliff, why did you even say that?
Cliff, get out. Cliff, get
I
out.
missed the
Get
joke.
out. Get out.
That
No,
Actually,
I want
I
to know the
think that-
context.
Hang on. Spackle, please.
God damn it.
Sorry.
I did like the Szechuan sauce that came with the McNugget meal.
Never
I'm just
mind.
kidding. No one actually. I don't think anyone who watches Rick and Morty remembers the McNugget sauce.
I'm Pickle
I
Rick.
did, but
Rick!
I'm Pickle Rick.
I may be misremembering the Szechuan sauce, but if I'm remembering the right one from back then, I didn't really like it.
You would not believe it, but a lot of Rick and Morty fans shit their pants over trying to find the Szechuan sauce at McDonald's. And when they went to it and they were out, they threw a shit fit over it.
I'm
They
not
ratted.
surprised in the slightest.
Oh, it was terrible.
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy Rick and Morty though. It's
Yeah, I
fun.
did like it. I did enjoy it.
I like the show. I just think the fan base, 90% of them suck.
I don't know anything
That's
about the fan
the
base. All I
case.
know is the show.
There's a lot of hashtag I am very smart going on among the fan base. Yes, the Szechuan sauce video, I have seen that, and it is fucking hilarious.
My son's been trying to pressure me to run around and find more
Bucky's-
hangouts to jump in just to vandalize with Skeptic Squirrel.
What? What do you mean, vandalizes? Wait, does your son watch this shit?
Oh, he's seen some of the Skeptic Squirrel stuff, and he wants more skeptic poning people.
Well, ponage is what this community was like originally like about.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I've seen that post. I forget where it's from, Haunted, but
I was like, you better not have written that entire thing out.
No, that's
no,
a
it's that is a copy pasta. Yeah, it is a copy pasta. It's yeah. That quote even has a page on Know Your Meme. It's like the Navy SEALs thing.
Kevin, I'd like
Which
to
I'm
point.
sure Nodvik can quote from memory.
Kevin, I'd like to point something out.
No, not that one. I can't.
Right quick, Kevin, I'd like to point something out. Your microphone does work now.
I know. No, I know. You know what? You know what the fucking thing was?
It sounds like you're yelling, dude.
I'm sorry. No, a couple days ago, I thought my microphone was like both of my USB mics weren't picking up anything, and I was like, it must be a driver thing. So I fucked up. Like I spent like 2 or 3 hours fighting with it, and then I realized both of them were muted in Audio Mixer.
Yeah. After completely fucking up his computer for an hour or two.
Yeah, I downloaded some kind of program that was like driver updates. Like it found driver updates that your operating system software didn't. And I had to do like a system restore and like, oh god, what a
Now your computer's finding crypto.
I'm retarded.
Oh, dude, did you guys hear about the fucking fave icon thing?
The
this?
what icon?
All right, so
I know
I don't know
fave-
if you
I
guys
know what-
remember
hang
what
on.
fave
No,
icon.
Favorite. Fave. Okay.
Yeah.
No, favicons
no.
are like these things. The the little icon that appears in your tab for each
Yeah, in
site.
the top left corner on the tab, and it used to be on the top left corner of the address bar back in the days of Internet Explorer.
Not too long
It's
ago.
it's called
but
faveicon.ico. Somebody has
that's a file
managed.
name. Yeah.
Yes, somebody has managed to put in a little bit of software in favicon.ico that runs on your computer that mines cryptocurrency for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really clever like malware research, if you want to call it that, going on right now to find ways to sneak software that mines cryptocurrency. Because the thing about favicon.ico, it's one file. It's a file name that is present on 99 or 95% of web servers.
Mm-hmm.
And they've figured out that that's a way to like deliver software if you can manage to sneak it in there. It's really clever.
Well, the great thing about this particular form of malware is it works especially well on Apple devices. I watched someone pull up on their Mac OS X Mountain Lion a web page that was using this particular technique while they had the task manager up, and it showed the CPU usage jumped to 305%.
Wow, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, stupid commentary because we're very briefly on the topic and then we're going to jump the fuck off of it. But Monero's actually planning a fork to try to basically cripple botnets. Putting stuff like that.
There's also a huge botnet exploit going around right now where people are taking over routers and putting crypto miners into people's like actual routers.
Oh yeah, routers like are way popular because they're often not updated. Like the firmware has a lot of security holes generally.
Yeah, 90 to 95% of the big botnets, and when I say big, I mean at a minimum 1 million infected devices. Have almost always been network security cameras. So it's pretty interesting to see.
Shodan. Yeah. It's so easy to find shit like that. Like webcams are fun, like just for a dork like me who likes finding them on the internet, clicking on them and seeing what you can see. But the real reason a lot of people are interested in them is because they can own them and they have like a little Linux OS on them, and then they can roll them into a botnet. But
it's
cryptocurrency mining, big stuff.
Great. Well, it's great because one of the biggest security camera network security camera providers that's been around since I think 2002 released a development kit or something like that in 2007 as a business thing where you could pay for the license for that software, and then that ended up on hundreds of different like smaller companies for security cameras, and the firmware that was the base that people would update and patch had the password for the admin access to redo everything in clear text saved into the firmware.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That might not be the same one I'm thinking of, but I remember at least one DEF CON talk. Yeah, Dan Tentler, he talked about that. It's like admin or
yeah. Well, yeah, it was Dan Tentler. Yeah, I remember.
Hang on, my wife and I do actually have a wireless webcam. It's one of those ones that has a phone app. So what we did was we set it up with a wireless, got her connected with the phone app, and then killed the wireless on it.
Yeah.
She can still access it with the phone app. The whole point is so she can check to see what's going on at the lake.
Yeah, I remember the Dan Tentler talk on it now. He sent a message to the original arbiters of the firmware so that they can get an update out to all the customers, and they're saying, hey, the password's in clear text right here in your firmware. You guys need to take that out of the firmware because that's not a good idea. You're going to have a bad time.
Or at least don't have it clear text so you can hit it with strings and find it.
Right, and they responded, "Thank you for this information. We have updated the firmware and we've changed the password." So
and they didn't.
No, he checked. They definitely updated and changed the password. It's just that the new password was still there in clear text.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the password, but it's like they didn't get the point of the email to begin with.
Exactly.
Oh God. I have to say though, recently I actually had to contact some folks regarding some support for one of the devices that I run here, and I was fucking amazed. I called them. I said I let them know I've already troubleshot it. I need a replacement for this board, and they're like, okay, that board's $20. I was like, yay! They're just gonna send me the replacement board. All I have to do is give them $20. Yay!
It was one of the miners, right?
Yeah, it was the Bakehull X10, but yeah, it was just the board was bad. I mean, you sit there and you swap the board from one to the next. The one with that particular board is the one that doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you change over your little micro SD, still, you know, it's that board. And they're like, yeah, sure, fine, here, have a new one.
Yeah, most of the miners themselves aren't particularly complicated devices. It's the ASIC chips that are complex. And those are, like,
well, no, fuck the miners, fuck the chips. Someone actually listened when I said I've already teched it. Here's the problem, without having to sit there. And, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk you through. God, I've already done this, you shitheads.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm guessing it wasn't Bitmain.
No, of course not.
Wait,
I know
13.
I know 13 loves Bitmain.
13 Baycall did this? Baycall did this.
Baycall, yeah.
So I already dropped this into the Discord, but I just want to point it out because I downloaded a game that someone wants me to try out, and it has the longest EULA I've read in years. I'm that idiot that actually reads EULAs, and I just want to point out this one section.
Of course you are.
It says,
is this the one where you sell your soul?
No. It's great, though. EULAs are getting amazing now. You warrant and represent that you understand that the game sets forth a virtual world and not the real world, and you understand the distinction between a virtual world and the real world. It's in the end user license.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you read that again?
Sure. You warrant and represent that you understand the game sets forth a virtual world and not the real world. You understand the distinction between a virtual world and the real world. You have to agree to this.
What game was this?
Blade and Soul. It's like Terra, but taking itself seriously.
Well, obviously, if they have that in the license agreement.
Super serious.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stepping away from the keyboard for a moment, so if anyone tries to join for the next few seconds, you're just going to have to fucking wait.
Alright, guys, whip your lads out. Turn on the cameras.
Oh, shit.
Sup, lads?
Sit down, Epi.
Sit down, Epi.
Oh, incidentally, while I think of it, while I'm sitting here taking a crapple on the microphone, Epi, did you let Haunted know what the shuffle is?
He's a viewer, so he knows what it's about.
Oh, okay. So he
I
knows
was
there's
on,
a bunch
like,
of
2 years
douchebags on
ago.
the internet. Oh, okay.
Actually, 3 years ago. Never mind. That was the only time I've ever been on one, so I doubt you remember me.
Oh, that's okay. I don't.
I know you. I know you from G Plus. I don't offhand remember you being in here, but there were so many of them back in the day.
Yes, this is
kind of
shuffle number
mushes together.
250.
Oh, by the way, you mislabeled the YouTube videos as 245. Might want to fix that.
Oh, sorry, 245 is what I meant to say. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is.
No, it is 250.
Right?
Motherfucker.
It
Never
is
mind.
250. Yeah, you need to fix the shuffle number. Shuffle number 250.
Yeah, I'll fix it later.
Or it's most likely 250. It's got close.
Yeah, no, it is. Actually, the last one was 249. I had to correct some numbering that I had before because there were a couple that I hadn't numbered, and that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, 249 was fun, right?
Oh, that was a thing, yeah.
Was 249 the brass tacks one?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Because this is the thing is, somebody goes out there and is like, if you want, I'll show you the document, and then doesn't.
Oh, you need to contact MP for permission to show me the document. Fuck you. We'll blow
You know,
this shit
seems
up.
like a nice guy. MP.
Yeah.
MP's great. I love MP.
Yeah, he seems
Been
pretty cool.
hanging with him. He seems like a really cool guy.
MP is the guy who gave Steve McRae thousands of dollars in legal advice for free to trademark his stupid shit, and then Steve threw him under the bus by tossing him out of the group.
Shit, I wish I could get $1,000 in free legal advice.
Yeah.
There we go. Back to the keyboard. Yay!
I'll not confirm or deny whether I'm the ringmaster or not still.
By the way, I just remembered
Oh.
something. There was a thing about how a Brooklyn Bitcoin mining operation interfered with a T-Mobile broadband network.
Oh yeah, there was.
What was
okay.
that? That sounds
hang on. There was an instance not too long ago, and I got to hear about it from somebody within one of the little groups I'm part of. This guy was running an old Bitmain S5, I believe it was.
S5, yeah.
And they ended up, the FCC ended up having to track the signal that was interrupting cell phones, and they tracked it to his house, knocked on the door, and basically said, you're going to get a massive fine for every day you run it, so unplug the fucking thing. Now, of course, there's a couple crimes involved here, one of which is that somebody's still running an S5. What the fuck? And second, the fact that miners that aren't much better than that are currently on sale on the Bitmain site. Because why would you still be running an S5? And S5 is like, what, 1 terahash?
I might have blanked for a second, but why was it interfering with the
interfering with cell
telecom
phones
network?
because it was the cell phone signals it was interfering with because old shitty technology that was breaking down.
How was it? Was it noise? Was it just noise? Because they don't transmit radio. They're not supposed to.
It was electromagnetic radiation, and it was on the 700 megahertz range.
That's fascinating. I didn't. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look into that.
So basically, his options are stop using it or build a. So his options are stop using it or build a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
And considering how little those fucking things make, you're not building no Faraday cage with that shit.
You know what this means?
What?
This means the D3 is never going to be profitable again if they're still running older technology than that.
It's not. That wasn't a D3 being mentioned, but
no. 13, please.
Yeah.
Make go. 13 can explain.
What?
I was going to say
the D3 is just shit to begin with, but it's not going to cause that kind of interference.
No, I was just saying if they're still running, you missed what I was getting at.
Okay.
If they're still running that, then the D3s will never become profitable again.
And they might, but it's going to require a lot of people to turn their shit off.
You missed the joke there.
Which is what you're counting on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm counting on. Then again, I effectively don't have to pay my electric bill right now anyway, so I don't give a shit. I'm contributing to global warming.
Woo. Fuck you. And yeah, sorry, Nodvik. I wish Nodvik he'll be back in here in a second, but we kind of shit all over your solar panel idea.
Yeah, well, it was a thought, but yeah, I thought that when they were talking about a 10 kilowatt hour solar array,
it was
I thought they meant
month,
monthly,
right?
not yearly, and yearly's horseshit.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. Hey, Renee, how's it going?
10 kilowatt hours would be fucking awesome if that was powering our apartment, but for what you're running, yeah, not so much.
Yeah, not so much. Oh, actually, since Renee's out there, I might as well do this. Just as a quick update, I'm working with my cover artist, and we're close to done with having a cover prepared.
Woohoo.
This is not final render, but this is one of the ones that we're currently working with. And we don't know whether we're going to split it into 2 books or just combine the 2 into a single volume, so I don't get lynched for what I do at the end of the first part.
Wait, is this for?
This is for the book.
Book 1, 2, or 3?
Well, book 1 and potentially book 1 and 2, depending on whether I decide to get art for the 2 of them, release them separately, and risk a lynch mob.
Okay, I take it that's before her little transformation episode.
Oh, this is well before. That's toward the end of the second part. The second book, whether it's quote book 1 and book 2 within a single volume or not.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is well before that. This is her destroying the currently existing clone of herself. Oops, spoiler.
Right.
But yeah, once that's done, I had roughly an 8-month delay because my wife wanted to try to go through literary agents, and that was a complete and total waste of time in the long run.
Yeah, I saw your tweet.
Yeah, I had a little rage tweet this morning. It was kind of fun.
Out of curiosity, do you guys know what's his name, Tomlinson? He's a science fiction writer. He became famous for that whole thought experiment about burning building 5 embryos, 1 kid, save 1. It blew up on Twitter, and someone reported on it. Do you know about the writer?
No. Oh, let's see now. We have Timex Felton. Anyone know him?
Nope.
Okay, let me clear out my bars here for a moment then, and I will let them in.
Yeah.
Hello, Timex.
Oh God, a brony.
Hello.
A brony? What?
Don't making fun of me because I'm a brony.
We might be able to.
Yes, that will happen.
Hey, shut up! You have girl hair.
Girl.
What? girl there.
Now we've had our share of bronies pop up and furries and what have you. They're people
What's
too.
wrong with that?
We had Midnight Sparkle in here last time, so
Yeah, that's
You wouldn't say this to my face because I touched you.
Oh, don't forget Boom.
well, Boom is. Oh yeah, Boom is a brony. Fuck.
Yeah, he's a brony.
What's wrong with bronies?
Nothing. We
Nothing's
just
wrong
we
with
just like to
bronies.
give them shit.
What's wrong with Boom?
Bronies
up,
ruin
you-
everything.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with bronies.
Wait. There's a female in here?
Yes, these things.
Yes,
happen.
there is. There are actually two
What?
females in here.
Why would-
Oh my
Oh
god!
shit.
This is not good.
Excuse me, I am a woman. Thank you.
I mean,
Hi.
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
true
hang on,
that
hang on.
we are,
Nodvik,
we are
you're a
less
bit-
intelligent.
Nodvik, you're a bitch.
Why
That's
would
different.
why would you invite two females in here? That makes no sense.
But Jack
what?
is taken though.
Hold on. Excuse me. Please repeat that.
I said, why would you add two females in here?
Oh,
13.
Because we're men. We're supposed to be. We're muscle. We big.
can't even get it out.
I don't have. This is a corporate hangout, and I don't have control panel. But
Wait, what is this?
I'm
what is
amused
this?
by the troll. Come on.
Wait, what?
I am a little used too. But
What is this? What is this chat for? I don't know. I just joined some random chat.
Okay.
I was gonna say I have never seen you before in this community ever.
What kind of community is this?
It's a go fuck yourself community.
No, honestly, what kind of community is this?
This is a bunch of people generally
Prince
being.
Cat.
Hang on, please.
What's the conversation?
Please. This is a general area where we sit around and bullshit about whatever comes to mind, typically speaking.
Like sports?
Typically.
No.
Sometimes.
But it has
Come
happened.
up once or twice.
Yeah.
I like
Wee!
So what we
Really
talking?
good, Sam.
Normie, get off my board.
Get out of here, normies.
I'm not normie. I'm not normal.
Anybody that says normie or wake up sheeple, like I usually write off.
Yeah,
Do you
pretty-
guys like
No,
ice
we're just,
Do you
we're
guys
just
like
joking
ice
around.
Deidre, you woke? Deidre, you woke, bruh?
Let me out of screen region.
Do you
here.
guys like?
This isn't a
Wait,
Twitch
wait,
thing. dude.
Do you guys like Ice Poseidon?
This isn't a Twitch thing.
What?
I'm pretty sure 90% of the people don't know
Not
who
sure
Ice Poseidon
what
is.
that is.
I said, do you like him?
What
No.
is he?
You don't know who he is? IRL?
I have no idea what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
know.
Even
Is that an ice cream flavor?
Listen up, nigger. He's an
Oh,
IRL streamer.
Please, 13, please.
No.
I'm done with this. I'm done with this
What
guy.
is
I'm
an
done.
IRL streamer? That just sounds
I know, I'm
extremely
It's someone,
boring.
not Vic. It's someone who's woke as fuck.
They're live bloggers. They just walk around the street.
Hold on. Disclaimer.
Two.
People who say things in
What?
and out doesn't
There we go.
necessarily reflect
one.
anything.
Oh, there's
No,
a nipple.
no.
Okay, all right, we're done.
Airlock.
Bye bye.
There we
Okay.
go. Now I
And this
can.
is why we don't put the fucking link in the chat in the description. Or this is the risk.
No.
That
That, I just turn off the fucking video so people can't see what's going on. Because yeah, fuck that.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now we're back on air with
Great.
camera.
He wasn't a very convincing troll.
He was a really good
No.
quality troll. The
So,
thing is,
so
hang on a second. We over the course of the Insomnia Shuffle history have had some really fun creative trolls. So I always give them a couple moments to see if they're going to be at least interesting. If they're interesting, they get to stay.
Yeah.
If
He
they're
was
schmucks,
boring.
they go.
That was a schmuck.
So,
haunted trolls
serious
are
question
monetized.
though. People watch streamers that aren't even playing video games.
No, yeah, they just walk around in the street and go eat dinner and just do funky stuff.
Yeah.
Why
They do
would
lots of
you
funky stuff.
watch that?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
No, not really.
That bell is not being answered. Okay.
There are legit voyeurism sites for that kind of thing. Why would you watch some douchebag walking around eating food?
Apparently, depends if you're if you're a fan of Twitch, because on Twitch there used to be a lot of IRL streamers who just had their pitties out, so people just go watch
Well,
that.
that's half of Twitch anyway.
Yeah, basically.
Was that someone from the Twitch community probably just looking for live hangouts
I don't know,
we
could
did,
be.
Jordy? Remember when we looked for live hangouts on
Oh, yeah.
YouTube?
Remember when I
Test
nuked the live
something?
community?
Yeah.
Known sniper Jordy Weeds.
Jordy Weeds is a known sniper. People, you better
Yeah,
watch
known
out.
sniper.
You better block
yeah.
block him. Block him right now.
Hey, speaking of, unblock me, you coward. You know who I'm talking about. Mr.
Unblock
Gray.
me. Unblock Jordy, you fucking coward.
Yeah. I've done nothing to you beyond call you a fuckstick.
Okay, so speaking of which, can I give my update on World War Steve?
Oh, please feel free.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys, after the previous shuffle where we went through the brass tacks document, you know, the great evidence of a conspiracy to take the GDC over from Steve and steal all his Patreon jugal. So there was a Talking Shit Tuesday following that where we riffed on his drunken rant. Naturally, he did not get the hint. But after that, about 10 or so people that I know of, most of whom are fairly recognizable names in the community, left the GDC group.
Okay, so hang on. One quick note for the sake of the external. The link is temporarily disabled. I've locked down the Hangout for the next couple minutes because we had like three most likely trolls in association with that one trying to join. So we're locked down.
Did other people ring the doorbell?
Yeah,
other people run.
Yeah, we had like 2 or 3 in a row right after that. So I'm locking it down for 15
Put their names
minutes.
in the chat. Put their names in the side chat. I'll tell you if I recognize the name.
None of them had avatars. That's all I know.
So anyway. This can't be sniped. It's a corporate hangout.
No, that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, Steve made in response to this. Steve said, "Well, the GDC has over 1,000 people, and I don't care if 9 people leave, whatever." And then a couple days later, he posts this in the Great Debate community group. Rules change because of a constant flux of new people to the GDC, especially the fact that we will be exposing this community to potentially tens of thousands of new people soon. This may put undue burden on moderators to have to determine if someone is being disruptive, trolling, or not following rules, which I helped him flesh out, by the way. I propose that any member that can be removed by any moderator if that member has not been here a minimum of 4 weeks from their first post without requiring 2 moderator approval, which is something that we agreed upon specifically because Steve had been throwing people out without telling anyone because he didn't like them. And this is back to Steve's post now, we will be needing more moderators. If you would like to be mod and think you can be a good moderator, please let me know here or in private. And this is the kicker. I don't care if you agree with me, disagree with me, hate me, or love me, but to be a mod, you have to want to see the GDC succeed. Screen share. So, yes, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to call bullshit there, bro. Yeah? Yeah, sure. You hate me or love me.
Because so many of us wanted it to succeed, but said, Steve, you're just being out of hand here.
Yeah, in other words, wanting to see the GDC succeed means you have to agree with everything that Steve McRee wants to do with it.
Or at least not criticize anything he does.
Doesn't this message as stated here disqualify Steve McRae for moderatorship?
Yeah, but he's the fucking king in this game. He's not a pawn. He's the fucking king. So okay. One last thing before I get off my soapbox. Anyone watching right now or watching later who is still in the Steve's Great Debate community group, just take cover, dude. Like he wants to bring in thousands and thousands of new people, and he very obviously doesn't have the moderator the number of moderators to deal with that kind of input.
If you're trying to run a community and you're focused on quantity, you will never get quality.
Yeah, that quantity over quality is literally the name of the game. Like everything he's done in the past week screams quantity over quality. So just watch your back. Like just leave now because it's gonna get worse.
It's just thousands.
All right, I'm done.
Thousands.
Now, this has been a World War Steve update. We return you to your regularly scheduled shuffle.
Beware, there may be a bus with your name on it.
There may be a bus with your name on it.
Well, there may be a bus with your name on it message I will certainly be more than happy to somewhat agree with. This whole notion of, you should do this, you shouldn't do that, yada, 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 that I'm not going to agree with because people do what the fuck you want. It's the goddamn internet.
If he wants to
please do what the
expose
fuck
it,
you want.
If he wants to expose it to tens of thousands of new people and doesn't have the moderatorship to support it, the link can be posted to a few specific boards, and I'm sure he'll get tens of thousands of people.
was thinking of.
No, not Vic. No, we are not posting this on 4chan. The thing is,
I'm not talking about 4chan. I'm talking about where people who used to go to 4chan hang out nowadays.
Regardless, if this shit's going to tank, I want to sit back and watch him tank it on his own.
That's what I was thinking. But yeah, I did say in my post that I made regarding the post of Steve that I just read, if Steve wants more people, I could get him more people. That's not a problem. Wink, wink. Just saying.
I'm going to push against that because, I mean, yes, I certainly have my opinions regarding him, and on some levels, I feel like he's declared war, so to speak, on some really good people that he shouldn't have decided to fuck with. And, well, I'm more of the viewpoint that I will fight my own battles, and I think my friends should fight their own battles as well. At the same point, I do not see good things around the corner, and I'm all for people joining out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave him, let him stew in his own bullshit.
Oh yeah, by all means, like if I'm not telling people to leave the group, if you're in the group, please stick around and enjoy the shit show. If you want to stick around, I'm mostly the main thing that I'm pissed off about. I could give less of couldn't give a shit what Steve thinks about me or anyone else. That he's sort of centralized or tried to centralize so much of this community. Like I was also banned from the GDC Discord server that was set up recently, and people raised enough of a fuss about him banning me that I've been unbanned. But yeah, that's just what pisses me off.
To me, it's
like it's
weird.
not your fucking community, bro. It's everyone's
to me, it's
community.
kind of weird because the Great Debate community, the actual Great Debate community, not the Great Debate community, Google Plus community, has been around for ages, long before Steve decided to come along and co-opt the name, and it's always been a shit show. I mean, people sit there, and the way you join the community is you comment or you make a fucking video, and that's about the extent of it. There is no,
I mean, yeah,
there are no arbitrators. There are no arbitrators. There are no moderators. There's really no one there to say who is or isn't a member.
Yeah.
And putting yourself in that position, I think, is a little obnoxious, quite frankly.
Basically, yeah, there's people in the community who have been here a long time, who run hangouts, make videos, and are kind of respected. And at this point, I would put Steve into that category to a point. He hasn't been around a really long time, but he has contributed a lot to it. And then there are people who aren't really recognized. That's it. There's no fucking hierarchy around here.
And the only reason why people are going towards his stuff is because there isn't really that much out there. Hey, Gabrielle, how's it going?
Not anymore. I can't really respect his Google community as being the Great Debate community because I don't know if you guys remember Atheist at Large, Solely, and myself, and a few others running the Debate Faith Room on Yahoo Voice way back in like 2001.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
2001. You've mentioned it a few times. I didn't know about it until you mentioned it. But yeah, the community had these little different parts to it long before Hangouts came online.
I mean, I wasn't there in 2001. I joined in 2005, and I was a moderator within like 6 months because of certain events that happened. And that was I was moderating it when a lot when it was on Stickam. But
actually, if I can, I'm going to jump in here for a moment because Gav came in. We mentioned him a couple times earlier, which is of course why I had to give out the invite. It is one of the rules. But yeah, Epi actually did a pretty good job trying to defend it. Now, it's one of the more indefensible things, relatively speaking, but I pointed him to all those sites pertaining to the mitzvah and what have you, and how these rules are regarded, and he brought a fair amount of that into that, and I'm proud of him. For something that's such an indefensible position, he actually did a good job.
What channel was this on? I wasn't aware that it had.
Guess whose channel it was on, Kevin?
Was it on Steve's channel?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes,
Guess who had some help with the debate?
Yeah, sorry, but I won't be watching it because it's on a channel that I don't subscribe to anymore. So.
I helped Epi plan for it, so I was obligated.
I'm also going to download the the video so you can watch it on my channel.
There you go.
Yeah, by all means, upload.
Anyway, I'm going to ask people to shut the fuck up for a second because it's been ages. Gav, how you been, man?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Brain's a little bit
Good.
off. Been crypto mining. I understand Israel's talking about banning that.
I don't know what it is. Oh, you have to fill me in on that.
Cryptocurrency mining like Bitcoin and family.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know Israel was trying to ban it. Like, that's actually kind of surprising to hear that. I thought it was the Asian countries that were banning it.
No, Israel is on the list for a little bit of a while. At least I don't know why.
We banned all that dumb shit. We banned the e-cigarette for crying out loud.
You banned the e-cigarette?
Wait, that's confusing though. Mining Bitcoin is basically free money. Isn't there like a Jew joke here somewhere that why would
I
they
wasn't
be
gonna
banning
make it, but I was thinking that.
Exactly,
it's this financial thing. Like, come on, Israel banning that? Come on, look, something wrong here.
Apparently, we're banning cryptocurrencies, e-cigarettes, and wearing sandals while driving. It makes total sense.
That one I can get behind. I can support that. I've seen a few people go through storefronts.
Now you see,
not driving with sandals here, sandals on, and you get pulled over. It's like a jail term.
Wow,
Really? That's weird.
now if they banned all sandals with socks, I'm right with you.
Sandals.
No, like
Banned
flip-flop.
all sandals with socks.
And it's like type of sandals that you actually like Velcro and strap your foot into. It's fine, but if it's like a flip flop that can come off easily, you're fucked.
Yeah,
Either
I can
way,
understand that.
Socks is wrong.
The first time I saw a car drive through the storefront, I was 7 years old. No, 8 years old.
Wow, that was like pre-Birkenstock.
Right? That was like 22, 23 years ago, that means. So the lady really wanted some alcohol, so she drove to the gas station and her cast got stuck under the brake pedal holding down the gas pedal.
Sorry, that just sounds so funny in the terrible sense.
Okay, the reason why you were brought up is because Epi had that debate. We made a reference to the whole thing with Veckel going and talking to you before a debate and then forgetting everything when he stepped in to actually have it.
Oh yeah, well that's consider the source.
Yeah.
Speaking of Veckel, did anyone else see MK's hangout from a night or two ago? Christian, see, this is what happens in the community when the atheists and the Christian/theists stop going at each other for like 2 weeks. They start tearing each other apart.
Yeah, we eat ourselves every fucking time because.
And that hangout was the Christians going at each other. It was mainly like Shani, Rev News, who were both fucking drunk as and Jungle Jargon, who were all drunk as fuck, who are Armenians, going against Veckel and Christian anarchists and a couple other people who were the Calvinists, and it was the most delicious fucking shit show I've ever seen in a while. Like,
well, I think it's kind of
Deidre saw it. Yeah,
it made Veckel look really rational.
Wow. Honestly, as a former Christian, like I wanted to agree with Shani and Rev. But what they were saying, like, they don't fucking have any clue what they're talking about, and they were both shit wasted off their ass.
Dude,
obviously.
They were screaming, and when Christian anarchists started quoting scripture, they were like hissing and booing and laughing hysterically.
Oh, it was just hilarious.
So now Christian anarchists and some of the reformists, they think that they're all demon possessed, and they have a video out saying that they're demon possessed.
Oh, where's this? What channel is this video on?
Christian anarchist. He's like, I saw the demons come out of them.
Oh yeah, no.
When it comes to videos claiming people are demonically possessed, you can't fucking beat Raw. I gotta say.
Yeah, no. Like, Rev Jason was in that hangout. He like, CA was dropping scripture. Like, him and Beckel were just quoting Bible verses back and forth. But he would be like a Christian anarchist would say something and he'd be like, and this would wait like an hour.
Hang on for the benefit of the external chat. We've been asked what the name of the hangout is.
Let me hook you up.
Yeah, link it if you can. You've got the wrench.
Yeah. I watched like 2 hours after the 6 hour mark today, or about 1 hour after the 6 hour mark, and it was just, as Fabio would say, juicy, motherfucking juicy. Mwah.
I will unlock it for the moment drag, so you can jump on in. Okay,
Yeah, you
should
can
be good
unlock it
now.
now. I think we're done with the
Yeah.
Kevin, let's go a little farther up. There might be a couple more people here that are not so cool.
Well, I think we can deal with them.
I can always hit no, but yeah, I didn't want it to be force locked anyway around it. Oh, and I'm gonna have to change my bar length again. There we go.
You're overcompensating.
Drag not. I'm blaming you.
Hey, Drag.
Hey, Drag.
I blame you, Drag. I blame you. Kevin mute.
Hold on.
What happened?
What did you recommend? Anal? Did you recommend anal or something? What's going on here?
He recommended not watching the strange thing about the Johnsons.
Oh, I told you not to watch it.
She won't shut up about it now. She watched it, and now she's like, it's creepy, it's cringy.
Okay, Jackie, just wait. You got there's worse than that. You have to watch Thanksgiving 1, then watch Thanksgiving 3. There's no Thanksgiving 2.
Okay, I wasn't paying much attention. Whose Johnson are we talking about?
Long
It's
story
called.
short,
Go on.
Strange things about the Johnsons. Or the strange
about
thing about the Johnsons. It's a
It's
really
a short film on YouTube. You can find it. Don't watch it. It has it has incest in it. Basically guy molesting his dad is basically what I got from that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, mom knows about it and everything.
Is this based in West Virginia or Alabama?
Or Kentucky?
Could be either, honestly.
Oh, there you go, Effie. What do you...
Oh my god.
I love you, Effie. I fucking love you.
Every time I tell people,
whatever redneck province you come from, leave that province.
yeah, I told people not to watch it because someone tricked me into watch it, and I was like, oh shit, okay,
And your ass tricked Jackie into watching it.
The way you
Congratulations.
keep people from watching it isn't going, hey, there's this creepy thing right here at this link, now don't watch it. It's by going,
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, I had to make sure you guys.
Like shutting your mouth.
Kevin, if you
Jesus.
don't want me to watch it, you shouldn't have brought it up. Okay, I am a very curious person.
Me
I know
too.
Kevin exaggerated. I've only mentioned it to him twice. So
Thanks, Killing 3, Jackie. Thanks, Killing 3. You'll never watch
Jordy,
it.
just go watch Rubber.
I did watch Rubber. It was horrible.
Rubber?
Oh my god, I've seen Rubber.
It's not as bad as the Serbian film.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've been banned from Discord groups just for mentioning 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Which Discord groups? Was it?
It doesn't matter. Basically, all I did was put up the picture with that optical illusion with the vase and the 2 girls' faces. I just posted that image and said 2 girls ... and got banned over it.
Was that your writer group, or was that your?
Oh yeah, it was one of the writers groups.
He was banned from
This
that
is
group for something
hashtag
different.
current year. 2 Girls, 1 Cup is old news and nothing compared to what's been out since then.
Oh, I know.
Like 10 years old now. I remember hearing about that in high school, and I've been out of high school for 10 years now.
Yeah, but hang on. The thing is, the guy that actually did the ban was from Tennessee, so I think he thought it was 2 sisters, 1. Never mind.
It's not like it was Tub Girl or anything.
I couldn't go with that.
Tub Girl's mild. Are you kidding me?
What's the definition of a virgin in Kansas?
What is it?
14-year-old girl who can outrun her older brother.
Oh.
That's not funny, but, well.
Slightly disturbing.
Funny. Okay, I was eating. Sorry, Gab. Oh, man.
Do I have to break out the banjo again, or?
That's actually what the banjo reminded me.
I'm glad you have the banjo because there are so many times in shuffles where either incest or rednecks committing incest have been mentioned, and I just have to go.
That's because I.
Hold on, guys! Everyone, shut up. We have to make this an official shuffle. Penis.
Okay, there. So
You're gonna get
right.
censored by Google if you keep doing that.
No,
You're not
but-
allowed to do that anymore.
You won't be in the top chat.
We gotta sanitize it for the advertisers.
What fucking advertisers? I don't monetize. They can.
Exactly, but Google. I'm just never gonna miss an opportunity to say, fuck Google, you fucking suck. I hope your company burns to the ground.
Yeah, I recently got 2 copyright notices. Not strikes, but
really?
notices.
Notice? What do you mean, and on what?
I because of some of the sampling that I do over the course of this. Now, there's a lot of things that I don't monetize. Matter of fact, I don't monetize much of anything these days. And this video wasn't monetized, but it was the Krishna Marty group wanting to make sure that I couldn't monetize anything that used clips from their material. And I guess I can respect that. It wasn't actually a strike.
Okay.
But if I'm using their
so
crap,
you were
they wanted to make
demonetized for copyright reasons.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and I'm like, it wasn't monetized to begin with. What the fuck, and why am I getting 2 of these? And, you know, one would have sufficed, wouldn't it? And so I talked with them a little bit. They're just like, we just want to make sure you can't monetize something that's using our content. And I can respect that. That's fine. It wasn't fucking monetized anyway, but whatever.
I just want to say that G-Man's tears about being kicked out of his rap group kind of fueled me today.
Yes, G-Man, I think, set the record for pulling a Jason Burns, which is where you make a video stating you are leaving Google or YouTube or UG+, you're leaving the community, leaving the internet. He said basically he's leaving the internet for good until further notice. And then coming back,
somebody who met him.
11 hours. 11 hours between that and his next video.
Actually, 11 hours, that's almost as long as he kept up the Chocolate Atheist thing.
I was about to say, this is the Chocolate Atheist you're talking about. You can't trust anything he says.
Exactly, and I was just amused by how people were like, oh, is this real? Is G-Man really going to leak? No, you retards.
Well, it's worth pointing out that he is reiterating what he's saying in the Guys I'm Done video. You know, it's like, I'm taking a leave, and this is why, and he spends 45 minutes telling us why.
I don't believe it. Yeah, Gav, like, yes, people still talk about G-Man, and he doesn't need attention, but we just can't help ourselves.
It can't, like, when he started doing this this Cry Fest, I said, fuck it, let me go ask G Consciousness. I think I showed you guys a screenshot where I was like, okay, so what the hell did y'all do to G-Man? And here's what G Consciousness said. We asked G-Man not to do that rap and a lot of other things, but he's been doing his own thing and not operating as a group. Now, does that sound like G-Man? Does that sound like he just kind of does what he wants?
It reminds me of Steve McRae.
Yeah, strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, I said, okay, well, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. He says, but G-Man basically being G-Man with the antagonistic stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why he was kicked out of his little group. Which makes sense.
He's preaching to the choir in his motherfucking ministry. Anyway.
I'm preaching to the choir with my stupid fucking ministry, asserting your assertions of the Bible.
You know,
I talk a load of fucking shit about political slavery, and underneath the carpet I sweep anything unsavory.
Footnote. Hang on, quick footnote to the chat. I believe I'm running with 20 to 30 second delay, so that's part of the delay between the chat on my screen and external. I don't remember what the delay is, but it's at least 10 seconds, or should be.
So Kevin put out the challenge to guess how long it would take for G-Man to come back, and Char was closest with 9 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, in Skype in Kagito, I posted the video as soon as I saw it, and that was like a couple hours after it was posted. I was like, yeah, G-Man's leaving the internet for good. Anyone want to take a bet?
You know, Shara is one of my favorite people in this community. And it's so funny because she rarely gets on Hangouts, but she's great.
She is. She's fucking great.
We got her in the last shuffle right towards the end.
Okay, we just lost almost everyone, but yeah, she did pop in towards one of the, what was it, shuffle 249? Was it, or 48?
Yeah, the last shuffle 249, the brass tacks one. Yeah.
I got to point something comical about G-Man. So he
I agree, that is comical.
Yeah, he explained how he tried to get them to go with the name G Crew.
Oh God!
Which is exactly like Steve co-opting someone else's group, and making it about him. So that's exactly what G-Man was doing, and so, for some reason they didn't like that. Who would have thought it?
What's this line of people that are following G-Man? They should call themselves the G-String.
Oh! Oh my God. Okay.
God Goblin.
Okay. Quick story. My daughter came over one day for the weekend, and and I'm sitting there complaining that I broke my G-string.
And your daughter.
G-string led to a story about your daughter. I think I'm done.
And she's like, Dad, what are you talking about? You have a G-string? And I held up my guitar with a broken string. I'm like, this is a G-string. She's like, oh. I'm like, what the hell's the matter with you, kid?
Fucking with it. I think she
knows you're kinky.
She knows what a G-string is. She probably didn't know what a
G-string. Yeah, she didn't get that it was the name of the string on the guitar that was busted.
But then we started talking about your thongs breaking. That was a different issue entirely.
Wait, so you mentioned your G-string being broken, and she was thinking the other thing that was not a guitar string.
Yes.
That's
she
fucking hilarious.
Kinky and it makes her vomit. Anyway.
Well, yeah, it was one of those things. It was one of those things. I'm like, we're gonna have to go to the store. She's like, oh, what are you going to the store for? I'm like, I gotta get a new G-string. I broke mine. She's like, what?
That's fucking hilarious. I love your daughter. She's so clueless.
And not only that, of course, teenagers. I mean, their idea of their parents having sex is just obscene for them.
Which is funny because they're living proof that it happened at least once.
Yeah.
Not in my case, I was adopted.
Isn't that true of everyone, no matter whether they're teenagers or younger or older?
Oh, I never had to worry about that.
I'm just saying.
Hang on, I never had to worry about that possibility. I was adopted.
Hey, me too. High five.
Woohoo! Here, let me make the clap.
I never understood.
There, okay.
I don't know what possessed my mother to not sell me for $30,000 when she had the chance.
The Gypsies didn't offer that much, dude. They offered her $350.
No, this was in Korea. I was just under 2 years old, and she was offered $30,000 for me.
Oh man, and she said no. Oh wait, she had no.
Yeah,
she had no idea how you were going to turn out, though. In her defense.
True.
Yeah, if she'd really known, she would have taken the money.
Hyler Durden said that.
Did she ask for what purpose?
No, but the thing is,
Durden is Tyler Durden.
Well, I've always been curious as to why she said no, because just under a year, or just under 6 months. No, it was about 7 months. About 7 months after she had my brother, she went in to get her tubes tied to get fixed, and after some tests, the doctor told her they can't perform the operation because she's pregnant, and that was me. So why would she say no to that?
Revenge.
The only reason I wasn't aborted was because it was illegal in that state at the time.
Yeah, but that's
what state was this? Florida?
No, this was Washington State, but this was back in the day.
Back in the day.
Here's the weird thing, though. Like when you're pregnant and you give birth to a child, most of the time that actually induces that bonding hormone that you have. Like, and that's why a natural birth. Per se, natural birth, vaginal birth is actually better than C-sectioning because
I was a C-section.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that's interesting. You do more bonding that way because it causes a flood of hormones.
I was semi-ectopic, so I almost killed her. They had to cut me out of her early. She tried to prevent me. She tried to abort me. So why didn't she sell me?
So she tried to abort you, and you tried to kill her. Was this pure revenge or something?
Hold on. So wait,
falling in love with you.
Wait, this was you in Washington State? How long? Wait, how old are you?
I'm 30.
30 years ago, abortion was illegal in Washington State?
That's what they told her. It might have been because she was in the Army at the time.
Bullshit. Though. That was post Roe v. Wade.
No. Yeah, even California, they had rules and stuff like that about abortion. That was weird. And Arizona and all sorts of places.
I guess I thought you were my age, Nodovic. I forgot you were a few years older. My bad. Yeah. I turned 27 in a little less than a month.
Yeah, you're so
Washington. Washington got rid of their abortion law. I don't know what the state of law is regarding it right now, but I know when I was still living there that they had gotten rid of those laws. But I don't know.
Yeah, yes, Tyler. It's called oxytocin.
Oh hell, Kevin!
Yeah.
I've got books that are older than you.
Yeah, oxytocin.
I have books that are older than you.
But more oxytocin.
I bought mine when they were new.
Okay, Kevin, Cliff, stop quibbling for a moment. Please go ahead, Spackle.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying the oxytocin is more prevalent if you actually give birth vaginally. But anyway, I do think that does induce the bonding, and so people change their mind. The kid that they think that they didn't want, now they want, and they fell in love with.
That's a cuddling hormone.
So what you're saying is love for your children isn't real. It's just forced on you chemically.
Oh, I think it's real, but I think that chemistry definitely helps.
I'm just being an ass.
Yeah, you're being a bastard, not, but get out of here.
Well, I guess my next question would be, was your mom a good mom or a bad mom?
Okay, chemistry is real. We will not argue that. Okay, I'm going to pull down my video bar here for a moment. We have a potential incoming troll. It should be fun.
Peace out, Drag.
I have no
Okay,
idea.
I want to wait for the troll first. Hold on.
Oh yeah,
find
let's see
out.
who it is. Alex Cheng.
Okay.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Who are you? Who are you, and what do you want?
Nothing.
It's the same guy.
It's the same dude, yeah.
Can you at least make an avatar, you lazy?
I'm bored. I can't. I have too much
Boo
work.
him.
Hey, come on. Hang on.
Come on, let's hear what he has to say.
Speaking
Maybe he'll do better this time. Let's hear what he has to say.
Listen, I'm trying to get myself together. I'm trying to become cool as you guys. So
Come on.
You try harder.
We're schmucks on the internet. Try again later.
I can't get jiggy with this.
You can't. Yeah, I'm having a really hard time fapping to this.
I really want everybody to take turns doing an ASMR video right now. Let's go.
Kevin, you're deafening people outside and inside.
I wasn't doing the heavy breathing. That was someone else.
How long does it take this guy to figure out that he's muted?
all your base belong to us.
He can't figure out that he's muted. Okay, he's gone.
My queen.
Jackie.
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
Okay.
Do you know the way?
Okay, I muted him for a couple seconds there. He couldn't figure out how to unmute. Therefore, he's not smart enough to stay. Hush, Shorty. I beat you. Okay.
I beat on you.
But yes, if you're going to come in and troll, please be interesting or amusing. Otherwise, I'll show you the airlock.
This guy just does not know how it works. He does not know.
If he came in like with the Knuckles, the you got Knuckles meme, I would laugh. Just I saw him. Just that.
Do you know the way?
I can bring one of my socks in and troll better without a mic than
Ebola.
Ebola.
You know the way, my queen.
Guys.
I love you there, King. I'm sorry. I'm just having a lot of fun.
What's that? Someone touching my spaghetti.
Don't touch my spaghetti. Wait, we need Fabio in here. Does Fabio have a link? Oh, it's in. Wait, it's in that Skype group we don't talk about.
You mean the Cabal Center?
The Cabal Center. Yeah, Fabio used to be in Kagito, but he left like a long time ago because he got tired of our shit. Pretty much, yeah. Ebola.
I can never figure out when Fabio sleeps. I have no idea. Like, I wish I could tell people.
He would regularly come into shuffles back when we ran them all the time when they went late enough, and it would be like sunrise in Italy. And he'd be like, "Oh, hello guys."
This is.
I love Fabio.
This is the Insomnia Shuffle.
Oh my God! Wait, no.
Switch to single player.
Hang on. Here's the thing: what would happen is. Fabio would come into the shuffles and it'd be morning in Tuscany and you'd hear the birds chirping and I'd start picking on him saying, dude, what the fuck? Are you like Cinderella? What the hell's going on here?
He's like a reverse Cinderella.
Okay, let's pull
Get uglier
down
as time goes
the
on.
He
video
started
for 1
off as a
second.
beautiful young lady, and
now look at him.
Okay, hang on a second. We have incoming again.
Uh-oh.
I want to go to sleep, but I
Hang
want
on
to
a
see the
second.
trolls.
Okay, you have 10 seconds to be amusing.
Nelson
Okay,
Admos.
I have a turtle at home. I'm cool. I like you guys.
And you have failed to be amusing.
Too late.
That would be the outside of the airlock. Have a nice day.
We are not amused.
I like turtles.
I like
I like turtles.
Go
I like
get,
turtles.
go join a bowling league or do something. Go do something fun. You're not even a good troll.
Hi, 2007 called. It wasn't old me back.
It wants its beams back.
In January, called. It wants its Ebola back.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say back in the old day, like when we would run shuffles really late at night, after like all the Americans went to bed except for the weirdos like myself who were still in there like the whole time. Then we get the British people coming in like D.
Char's Canadian.
Yeah, I know D, and then Fabio in Italy, and we got Alex Bodden in a few shuffles as well.
Ryan and Exile.
Those were really weird.
Well, that's how the cycle works. You have everyone you have the night owls show up, and then you have people actually getting up.
We've had so many fucking weirdos in shuffles.
Yeah, and I'm
What
a little
the fuck
annoyed.
are you guys doing?
I've been waiting to see if Carson would get his ass on Facebook, but he hasn't shown up yet. I was hoping to bring him in.
Let me see if
I just realized what Char just said. Share drag dick pics. Why is it not showing up in the actual chat?
I sent you the link on the Hangouts. He doesn't.
Hang on. There's 2 different variants of chat now. How the hell do you toggle between them, Kevin? I haven't actually looked.
Up top, there's a little.
The upper. Yeah, you should be on live chat if you go to the upper left corner of the chat box.
13. All the comments.
Make sure
All
it's
the
live
comments.
chat.
All the comments that were showing on yours were the ones from live chat.
Yeah, they should be. That's what I'm actually capturing from.
Good morning, Fable Blue. Speaking of the Brits.
Yeah, there they go. I will say that there may or may not be drag dick pics on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, there are Carson Dick videos on the Pornosphere. You just have to know where to look to find them.
Yeah. He sent me the girl biting the sheets, and I was like, "Why are you hurting that poor woman?"
You went in dry.
Carson is a very interesting character, and if you out there have had the pleasure of meeting him in the Hangout, like that guy just is fucking awesome.
Well, in some way, he's kind of a hero because back when G-Man and Deckle were running around trying to defend biblical slavery, he was the only person.
Motherfucking house nigga.
He was the only person with the appropriate skin color to actually quote Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Deckle didn't like that too much, and then he came running to me, and I was like, "Well, it's actually true."
Yeah, no shit.
And then he's like, "Oh, you white people that are agreeing with and supporting this, you are fucking racist. Get off my porch."
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
Get out of it with your arbitrariness.
Oh, after Carson was sitting there, and I think it was in a live conversation, wasn't it, that he used that reference?
Yeah.
We actually
we had to explain it to everyone.
We fucking applauded him. It's like, yay, our hero.
And that's why you're a fucking racist.
Char.
Char, hi Char. Squirrels, more squirrels, more squirrels.
I wasn't even sure this was the one.
So, Char.
It's not. This is pre-recorded.
Yep. So Holy was referencing you earlier, and I don't know. There might be a wait. We know what a bromance is. What's a female? Is that be a fro? I don't know.
A sister-mance.
Sister-mance. I don't know. Apparently,
I don't think women have bromances because
I said you're one of my favorites.
Women just love each other. Like
they only love each other until they get to the other room, and then they talk about and bitch about the other person. I don't think they have
a lot of the women here.
Not Vic, hush.
Except for Shani. I don't like her Shani and Godless. They can kind of die in fire, but everybody else is cool.
Like Eve. They can die in fire.
Oh man, you missed it today. Like a fucking Matt Bell was hitting on Shani and MK's hangout, and he kept talking
God.
about like what she should do with her tits and stuff like that. And
wait.
take
Did you
God,
say
really?
sitting on her
Wait, is
or
that-
sitting in a hangout with her?
Wait, Drag, is that the hangout that Fiona left live chat comments on, and then MK went after her, and then she went over to Kagito to whine about how MK is so sexist?
Yeah, that's the same one earlier today when
dude.
me and Matt Bell were going at it. And
I just have to say, so Fiona was in that Skype group like a couple years back, and then she's been in it since, but she just kind of forgot about her Skype and didn't participate. But back then, she would. Every other post was her complaining about how something G-Man said or something Ronnie said. And back then, like, I was like, Fiona, I love you so much, but seriously, why do you fucking care so much about what these internet social retards think about you? Like, calm down. Really. And then she was just like, oh, if you don't want to hear about what I have to say, I'll just go. No, that's not what we meant.
No, he's dead. Ugh.
Excuse me for saying so, but I do happen to be social media.
But we love you, Cliff, though.
So, does anyone know what Hillary was on about last night? Because she entered my post.
Yeah,
and
I
was
saw
like,
that.
just
That was
find
weird.
yourself. And then I was like, "What are you talking about? I haven't seen you in months. How are you doing?"
That
And
was
she's like,
that was your post. That was your post, right, Deidre, that she was on. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find it for reference.
Yeah, she said, like, what did she say? Well, if you throw me in the category with those people, it says more about you. And I was like, what are you talking about?
That was weird.
Like, she was having a conversation with herself.
Yeah, it's in this thread that I
The only
linked.
thing I can think of is Hillary is drunk.
That happens frequently when she's drunk. It really does.
Yeah, and she's probably in
she
an
does
argument
get
with somebody
drunk,
and
okay.
doesn't know where she's tabbing.
Yeah.
Why do you adamantly affirm that your faith is a strength goes beyond my comprehension? Your God was never fulfilled, never predicted, never prophesied. As a matter, the OT never said the Messiah would be the embodiment of Christ.
And mind you, the thread
hang out about
you can-
MK and his bullshit. Like,
yeah, it's a
You can
thread
feel
about
free to
MK.
insert punctuation where it's missing.
Oh, jeez.
So it's a thread about MK, and then she's like, "Why are you defending God?" And I'm like, "What?
silly idiots.
Do I talk?"
What the? I've
Why
never heard
might
of
a
it.
Christian of some vague sort defend God? I don't know.
Because it's required by 1 Peter 3:15.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Noddick.
well, actually, it says always be able to give an answer for the hope that resides in you, but that's about the gospel. That's not necessarily playing about apologist. You know, I don't have to drill in and go 10. Dude made 20 push-ups from an atheist that's randomly drunk and wants to fight.
yeah, I was gonna say when I saw that, I was like, what is she going on about? Like, I didn't think of the drunk thing when it came to mind. I was just like,
Spackle, how dare you sit there and give a reasonable response when we're picking on fundies?
I love Deirdre. You're great.
For like a half a second, I was like, well, maybe I'll respond. And then I said, you know what? I bet she's drunk. And so then I said something like, this is not on topic.
And from what I understand, that led to even more bizarre ranting.
I just can't believe you. It says more about you. You throw me in with those people. I'm like, who are those people? What are you talking about?
Hillary is on the very short list who's made people in the community who have made Jackie cry much time for her.
Yeah, Hillary's interesting. There have been more than one occasion that I've been in an off-air hangout that she's come storming in there, misinterpreted everything anyone ever fucking said, and then insisted that we were like all ganging up on her and picking on her. And this was back when Cliff and her were still on decent terms. I'd go to Cliff and I'd be like, Cliff, Hillary's in here making a fool of herself. Please come help. And he'd bring her out, throw her into the proverbial Skype drunk tank, and talk her down.
I usually don't collide with her. I don't usually fight with her, so it's so weird.
I'm not sure how you
fight with her or not.
Hillary, hold on. I just have to say, Hillary is she's in the Kagito Skype group. She hasn't said anything in there for a long time. And before what I'm about to mention, she also, she still is. She never left and she was never kicked. I probably should kick her. But before what I'm about to mention, she also hadn't said anything for a long time, but there was some conversation about G-Man or whatever going on, and Jackie made a joke about how her chocolate milk that she made was racist because she didn't put enough chocolate in it. And there's context, there's more context to this than I'm remembering, but like Hillary took that way out of context and started attacking Jackie just out of fucking nowhere, saying like that.
And Kevin freezes. Okay, Kevin, hang on. Wait a second. Wait. You're breaking up really bad because you reached maximum rant speed. Take a breath.
Are we good now?
We're good now.
Yes, we are good.
Yeah. So basically, like Hillary just saw that and didn't, just completely out of context. That's racist. That's really offensive. Why would you say that? And it really like upset Jackie because she didn't know what the fuck she did wrong. Like Jackie actually left the group over that.
So
and I was just like, what the fuck just happened here?
That seems oddly familiar. So I wonder why haven't Crazy Blue, and Hillary Pugh ever gotten together? Because they seem like a match made in heaven.
I think it might be that Blue is anti social justice and she's pro.
Well, that'd be just a one mean hate fuck now, wouldn't it?
Because God is merciful, Drag, and he wouldn't subject us to their offspring. Like, could you imagine that offspring?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
wait.
Social justice.
I suddenly want to believe in his God. I just had to say that.
Okay, let Jackie talk.
Wait, can I clarify something?
Wait.
I think there were two conversations going on in that Skype going on. And I made a joke about my chocolate milk. I said, I put more milk in my chocolate milk. Does that make me? I was responding to someone else entirely. I was responding to someone else entirely, and then the two conversations merged. So I don't know what happened.
Or in other words, she couldn't differentiate conversations.
Yeah, is it just me, or does anyone else have this where anytime someone says the word social justice, you just remember all the pictures of lynch mobs hanging black people in trees back in the 1800s?
No, not really. I think it's just
it seems like a you thing. When people say the word milk, I just get grossed out and want to.
Right. It's just
when people say the word milk,
that is
I
what
think
social
of
justice
Sean
is.
Penn.
It's a lynch mob.
JD, the joke failed. Just live with it.
No, I hear milk and I think of the breast milk that
Did you just say JD? JD's not here.
When I hear milk, I think of Milk in the Lowell's cow.
Katie, whatever. Sorry.
Not Vic is not JD Kane. They are very different people.
Wrong letter. I forgot the first one. Fuck off, dude. Stroke damage.
They're both trolls though, so same difference.
Have you guys ever seen the video with Nephilim Free where it's me and Secular talking to Nephilim with a bunch of other people?
I forgot that guy existed.
And Nephilim is explaining the creation story. Yeah, and he tells me, he says, no, Holy Spackle, you don't have to take everything literally. There's some metaphors in this story. And I'm like, yeah, no. Hence, that's why I'm considered a heretic. And he's like, no.
Wow.
And then he's like, so Eve and Adam committed a sin, and the fruit wasn't actually a fruit. It was some sexual action.
Oh no!
And,
He has room enough for sexual metaphors, but not room enough for accommodating science.
Exactly.
Oh wait, no. In one of his more recent videos, he was basically arguing that Eve fucked the snake. I mean, come on, for fuck's sake, this guy's a moron.
Right, and that's what he said. He said it wasn't a snake. He said it wasn't a snake. He said it was a dragon, most likely, and that she probably had sex with it.
Not Vic. Yes, Nephi is still kind of active in this community. He's still around. He's just fallen from grace from having people like Thunderfoot and DPR and R and Raw were responding to his shit, and now he's fallen to arguing with us.
He's trying to renew his relevance.
I think the last thing
Pretty
I saw
much.
of him was the craters on the moon were caused by water from the Earth.
The lunar bukkake thing. Yeah, Thunderfoot did an episode of Why Do People Laugh at Creationists responding to that, and that was years ago.
Yeah.
Fiona has talked to him. He was on Steve's channel talking to Shannon Q a couple weeks ago.
Like I said, he's trying to renew his relevance.
I think he's strange, but I don't think he's malicious ever.
Does he still wear the giant headset like the one I got?
He doesn't really go on camera anymore, so we don't know.
Okay.
He's kind of just an old redneck drunk trying to stay relevant on the internet, pretty much.
On that note, folks, I'm going to go to bed. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, have a good night, Drag.
Good night, Drag. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, I remember the context of my chocolate milk joke. Someone had brought up the situation between me and G-Man and how G-Man called me a racist. So I was like, oh, you know, if I put more milk in my chocolate milk, does that make me a racist? Like referring to the G-Man stuff that happened.
I think we need to put people on a list, and like if people cannot get along with Jackie or they have some sort of crazy incident like that, we just need to put them on a list. Like
Kevin has that list.
Yeah, that's actually part of the reason why I got on the anti-Steve hate train.
Steve list.
I agree, but I think we need a word for the anti-Jackie list.
I don't get why people separate people based on breed or
I think
race.
we should make a community called
It's the puppy hater list. That's what it is.
Exactly. Puppy hating.
Anti-puppy list.
Okay, so what we'll do is make it a list of people that have verbally assaulted Jackie. So what we need is a couple letters from assault and a couple letters from Jackie. So I'll put them together and we'll just call them jackasses. How about that?
Maybe.
Ding, 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 ding. I will be right back.
I feel like I need to say, Jackie, you bitch. Such a cunt. Because I just want to get on the list. I just want to get on the list. Come on, put me on that list.
Honorary mention. Shut up, Char.
What did she say?
We're gonna make our own behavior community.
We all know. We all know. I'm kidding. I love Jackie.
So
the question is,
put me on the list.
Did I get close to that list the other day when I sort of joked the idea of attacking Jackie as like punching a puppy? It's just not on. And Jackie's like, oh, puppy. It's like, it's not a real puppy. It's a metaphorical puppy. Don't get upset about a metaphorical puppy.
I think you win, honestly, because calling Jackie a cunt and a bitch, I don't think is as bad as punching puppies.
Yeah,
right?
if we punch a no, like legitimately, that guy on Discord in the Krillism group, who was actually abusing puppies, like in the chat. He's the only person in the entire community that is well, he's the closest person I can say that I like hate, but I don't hate anyone, so because hate's a strong word. So I
definitely recommend hating some people.
Oh,
you should never punch a puppy. There's not enough surface area of a fist, and you're not going to tenderize the meat properly that way.
Who do you hold on. Who do you dislike? I went to the bathroom. I missed a bunch of shit. Oh, fuck John. What a piece of shit.
No, Krillism is the swill of the community. It's the worst place you can be. It's like the lowest level of hell.
Yeah, it's the cesspit. Krillism is for anyone who doesn't know, Krillism is a Discord server that was spawned from basically the breakaway from not the people that went into Nadia's hangouts after she stopped doing that. And then
not
it sort of
decent people though.
Oh no, the toxic
yeah, not
ones.
the decent people. Yeah, and then it sort of grew from that into this thing that, like, it's a really big server. Like, they advertise on Discord, like, lists of big Discord servers. So there's a whole shit ton of people in there that have nothing to do with this community at all.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some people from this community that are active in there.
Huh.
It's a shit show. And it's full of alt-right. It's full of white nationalist alt-right dipshits too.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like what the Great Debate G+ community is going to turn out when you got tens of thousands of people joining.
Kind of.
Tens of thousands of what?
Oh, you missed the thing I read earlier from Steve. Steve says the post he made on the GDC group, because of a constant flux of new people to the GDC, especially due to the fact that we will be exposing this community to potentially tens of thousands of new people soon, this may put undue burden on moderators to determine if someone is being disruptive.
Oh, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Hasn't he been saying this for 3 months now?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Apparently, he has some kind of. He mentioned this in the drunken ass rum and coke rant that we talked about. He has some kind of sponsor or something that he knows about that has an email list that has millions of people on it, and he's gonna like be promoting the GDC group in there, and he's also trying to get an ad in. He has a connection, or his buddy Kyle that he does this non sequitur podcast with that fucking hates me, has a connection with someone who runs Beverly Hills Magazine. He's gonna get an ad in there for the GDC, and he's gonna get like a bunch of minor celebs on his channel or some bullshit like that. I don't know what he's on about.
He's trying to take it mainstream.
Yeah, he's trying to take our little community mainstream.
Magazines are relevant in modern mainstream.
Yep.
And of course, what's he going to do? He's going to profit by it. So, you know.
No, he's not.
Exactly. Like, he wants to run all the pillars of the community, people like Sam and Drag and Cliff and Fiona, like long-term participants out of his group. He's fine with that.
That's like saying,
and
I'm
then
going to
get all
famous.
these fucking
I'm going to be in
jobs
Reader's
there.
One at a
Digest.
time, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
As Kevin gets muted.
Come on, Jackie. Don't you love sloths also?
No,
Sloths?
are cute too.
Just puppies?
Oh, you and your... I thought you said slots. I was like, we haven't been there.
Sloths.
Little baby sloths.
So she liked the baby sloth video I put up.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what's cuter than baby sloths? A bucket full of baby sloths.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty tasty, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, does anyone know what sloth tastes like? Because I've actually never heard of anyone eating sloth.
No, I've never eaten sloth.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay. For fuck's sake. Okay. Hang on a second.
Let me talk.
He tries to regain control.
Sloths. Kevin and I went to the aquarium tonight. The aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach. And yeah, we saw cute little otters.
No.
Yeah, here's a picture.
Oh my god.
That's us by the oh, that's not it.
Okay, guys, incoming.
How do I vomit on air when I look at really, really cute photos?
Vomit.
Aww, sloth is
Yeah, that's us by the what do you call it? The,
yo, fuck all niggers. Fuck all niggers.
Oh, we got another.
That was quick.
It's the same guy. It's the same motherfucking.
Oh, I figured. I was just like, okay, sure, I can eject him again. This is fun.
Dude,
that's how inventive he is now.
By the way, if anyone wants a link,
fuck niggers.
If anyone wants a link to the debate I did on my channel rather than seeing it on Steve's, there you are.
Okay. Yay, mirrors.
Kevin, what? Jackie, stop being niggers. Just stop doing it. Stop being niggers.
Yeah, stop being small black stones. Absolutely. Yeah.
I thought this was a Christian server.
What?
We have two Christians in the room, but first off, it's not technically a server, it's just a corporate hangout. And second, most of us are evil heathens.
Well, I hate to point out, but, you know, Max isn't a proper Christian.
Here we go.
Okay.
Max is definitely not a proper Christian.
Apparently it's tough, very muscly, and tastes a lot like Python.
So this person would have also had to eat Python to eat sloth.
Yeah. Well, I've had Python. Python's not bad.
Pythons are cute.
Heard eating rattlesnake, but python, really? Huh.
You know,
Pythons
this is
are
gonna make
gross.
Jackie really mad. This will make Jackie mad.
Have you ever seen pythons with like top hats and like bow
No.
ties? And
Nobody
stuff?
has.
Like,
No,
no,
you're making things
On
up.
Facebook.
Stop it. Stop lying, Jackie.
Jackie, sadly, the only thing I've ever eaten that's really questionable was probably a dog.
Kegogi is good.
Is it a puppy dog or a regular
Jackie,
dog?
I have
What do you
a
mean,
question.
Probably.
Yeah.
And what country were you in at the time, Shar?
China.
Ah, China.
Really?
I know.
Oh yeah, God, China. They eat anything.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
but
went
Kegogi is
on
not
that-
very common in China. It's mostly a Korean
You went
thing.
on that trip to Vietnam a couple years ago, right?
I've been
Char.
to Vietnam a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I saw your pictures.
Yeah, Shar does travel quite a bit.
No, like for the most part, I think I've only eaten dog twice, probably. But like I say, like they just call it meat, and
Dog.
you know,
You ate me dog.
I mean, there's not that much of a difference in taste between dog, cow, kangaroo,
there
horse.
really isn't.
Eating some rib.
There's a slight difference. You can definitely tell, but it's
vegetarian for
it's just good meat.
Well, vegetarian,
please
you could
change the
definitely
topic?
avoid. Yeah, you could definitely.
I do have
avoid
a question for Jackie though. Like, if you would you call some animals not cute? Like let's say like the tarantula hawk.
Oh my God!
The tarantula hawk grabs the tarantula.
Oh God,
It's
those
really
are
pretty and iridescent and kind of mean looking.
Yeah, and they have the second most painful sting of like any animal, like any insect.
So the tarantula hawk grabs the tarantula, lays eggs in it, and then
It's
it makes
it's a wasp. It's a wasp.
inside,
basically.
and the tarantula's still alive the whole time. Is that a cute animal?
Yeah.
That was the one animal Satan got to design, I believe.
It's killing spiders.
It
I'm
had to
okay
be,
with
yeah.
this.
No, she
Spiders
likes
are-
tarantulas.
most spiders are tasty.
Tarantulas are cute and fuzzy.
With 8 fucking eyes that are always looking somewhere and you can't tell.
Yeah,
where.
no, tarantula hawks
tarantulas
have the
have-
second most painful sting of any
Actually,
insect.
no.
The most painful one is the bullet ant, which is even worse.
Oh,
I actually don't
insect.
remember.
Insect is a really narrow category, though, right? Because jellyfish. Hello.
Well, no, of any animal. Like there's sort of like an index that they've developed for how painful a sting is.
Yeah.
And generally, yes, there are jellyfish, but the most
Jellyfish are
the
bad.
animals that generally sting are they're insects or arachnids.
Well, now
I've been-
platypus sting, stingrays sting.
Snacks.
Yeah, see, I've been bit by the fire ants, and they're pretty bad. But they're nothing compared to any jellyfish whatsoever.
No. Well, yeah,
So
okay.
I got stung by a jellyfish, like in the
Yeah, let me
inside of my
link the,
thigh. In
let
the
me li-
inside of
let
my
me link
thigh.
this
One at a
video
time.
on
Come on,
It's
guys.
easy
What
to
the fuck?
neutralize.
All right.
Guys. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Zackle.
I was just saying I got stung by a jellyfish on the inside of my thigh. I had to call out of work for 3 days in a row because I couldn't walk.
That sounds like a kind of minor reaction to a jellyfish.
I think there's something worse. I think there's being butthurt on the internet. I think that's much more painful for so many people.
I don't know.
Should we call that the McRae scale?
Alright, Jackie's officially made me hungry. I'm gonna run to the kitchen and find a snack.
Find a
bastard.
snack. You gotta find a
I
snack.
think you're a bastard.
You clear out of. I bet you're out of puppies though. So
We're gonna be
No, there's,
getting.
there's 3 here, but I'm not gonna eat those.
I've heard stories about the jellyfish, the thumbnail jellyfish in Australia, where literally people are screaming constantly,
Hey, teddy
like
bear.
completely out of their minds,
Go back to
and
bed.
can't even
Wait.
explain.
Hold on. Repeat that. I didn't get that.
What?
His connection.
he's not going to get it either because his connection's gone to shit.
Yeah.
My connection's fine. I just blanked out for a second. Sorry. Go on.
Bad. No, like I've heard explanations of being stung by a jellyfish in Australia. The thumbnails, where people like literally go into shock so fast that they're just like screaming the entire time.
Oh, this is jellyfish. Okay.
Yeah. I think the thumbnail jellyfish might be the worst thing to ever be hit by in the entire world, honestly.
But what if you get hit by? What if you get struck by a smooth criminal?
We're talking about Australia, which is
Australia's got them all. No, the smooth criminal, you just fuck them back. No big deal.
Yeah, Australia is a country that is basically designed to kill all humans.
Yeah.
Well, Australia was begun as basically a prison colony, so they were really concerned with the safety of the people they were sending there.
Yeah, true enough.
Australia's got some really amazing creatures, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great like biodiversity. There's a lot of species in Australia and New Zealand that you can't find anywhere else on the planet.
Big echidnas and platypus, right there. You got a whole lot.
The whole the monotremes, the whole branch of the mammalian family tree that is so much different from like the placentals that we're all familiar with.
And
they're mostly, I think all of them are in Australia, right? That's the only place you could find them.
And what the fuck? Like the echidnas don't even have a stomach anymore?
But they have 3
Really?
penises,
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know much about them.
They evolved way past that. Like they're just crazy.
Yeah, well, they also have 3 headed. They also have 3 heads on their penis.
Wow, 3? I thought it was 7,
Right?
but you
Maybe
might be
you're right. Maybe you're right.
No, I don't know. Lots
remember-
of pokey things on the penis.
It's what the
Pokemon?
Odyssey's Hydra is based on. It just depends on how many of them have been cut off and how many came back.
Well, I'm going to threaten to ban Halo Blue from the chat based upon their last comment.
What about the fish that
I
swims
have
up the
had
pee-pee?
nightmares about that shit since I was a young child. No. Actually, my parents owned a condo on this nice little lake years and years ago, back when I was a kid, and I refused to go swimming because fish.
Huh.
I always thought they'd mistake it for a worm.
Kangaroo. It's called the kangaroo.
Aye.
The
Kangaroo
vampire
baby.
fish, also known as the toothpick fish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
No.
I'll give you nightmares. I'm sorry.
No.
Yep. Okay,
No,
I'm
don't
fucked
want
for another week. Damn it.
1 week? Just one?
Yeah. Okay,
1 week?
we will never speak of this again. Next topic, please. Someone, anyone. Even not Vic.
Shuffle. Even non-Vic.
You guys!
Normally, I like my plants to have gone through the natural process of becoming meat before I eat them, but at least I can take solace in the fact that this peanut butter has a certain amount of bug parts in it.
Okay, there we go. Much better.
Okay, that works, I guess.
We can go back to general mutilation.
That's a new topic, for sure.
I have a rational fear of cannibals.
That's an
Well,
irrational
you do-
fear of cannibals.
I mean, you live in California, so I don't know what kind of cannibals you're worried about.
You know, weird thing is that that was a bit like that hangout the other day, wasn't it, with the clown car posse when they started eating themselves?
Exactly. I wasn't going to go there, but I did think of that.
My 2 favorite lines of last night's hangout where it was going awry was Shanny for Christ screaming, "Shut the fuck up in the name of Jesus Christ."
Really?
And,
No, that's priceless.
and the other line
Shut
was
the fuck
Vec.
up. She
And,
said,
and then,
Well,
Oh,
Kevin,
finish, sorry.
let her finish. Come on.
Sorry. Go on.
okay, maybe she didn't say that for. I don't know. There's a lot of swearing going on though. And then
Shut your damn mouth.
shut your damn mouth. Okay, in the name of Jesus Christ. And then the other one was Veckel saying, "Look, Calvinist, where's my Jägermeister?"
Was
He's
that
making fun
Veckel?
of
I
her.
thought that was CA that said that.
No, that's Veckel
Oh, that was
making fun
Veckel.
of her.
It's like, what? I get you fucking Calvinist. Where's my Jägermeister? What do you think
Kevin,
of
how
that?
much have you drank tonight?
This is
least
normal
3.
me. I've had 1 glass of wine 13.
Okay, then more wine. Holy crap, dude.
I just really like shuffles. Do you have a
You're
problem
hyper
with
as
that?
fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Tighten up, Kevin. Tighten up.
Yeah, that's.
I'll shut the fuck up then. I'm sorry.
I've actually met Jackie and Kevin in person, and I've met Tanya. And did you know Tanya told everybody that I was autistic?
Wait,
what
did she say?
Well, I bet that was
Tanya
news to you.
blocked me. Tanya blocked me on Google Plus after in one of the threads about Pizzagate, I told her that the WikiLeaks email that she was holding up as evidence of a conspiracy didn't say what she thought it was. And then she called me a pedophile enabler and blocked me and deleted Jackie on Facebook.
That's when I got rid of Preet, was when Preet started saying when you disagree with her. And I was like, she would go, "Oh, pedophile defender," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I love kids, and not in that way."
If anyone's a pedophile defender, it's totally Jackie.
You're just trying to get on that list, Char. You paid in the ass. Bad squirrel. Bad squirrel.
That's awful.
I think the list is a bad idea. I think we should renege the list.
Yeah.
If we just say the wrong things, I might get right?
In all seriousness, Char, did you see?
No, Jackie, what? In all seriousness, what?
In all seriousness, Char, have you seen that Michael Klein has created a group called Behavior? And anybody who has bad behavior gets recorded and written down in the group.
Let me find it for our benefit here.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah,
If
he's gone.
I'm already in there.
But let's.
I'm in there too. And I have never talked to the guy.
No.
Come on,
Wait,
Jackie's
hang
not
on.
in there,
Hang on. Now, if they just simply want a list of people that have exhibited bad behavior, all he needs to do is go through my channel and record the names of everyone who's ever participated in a shuffle.
Yep.
I mean, let's be real.
Yep.
See, I can't be on the list because bad behavior has to be determined by the objective arbiter of moral rules, and since me being an autotheist, I am God, and therefore the arbiter of those rules. Anything I do is by definition good.
So you're the atheist that thinks they're their own god. You're obviously the one that...
No, I'm an autotheist.
Yeah, autotheist. Yeah, that's different.
At some point, macaroni and cheese will arrive at my location, right?
Oh, damn, I thought you were going to say eventually macaroni and cheese is going to take over the world or some shit like
No,
that.
I just want the KD to deliver macaroni and cheese
No,
to me.
Char, they don't know what KD is.
We got a mac and cheese situation.
These Americans don't know what KD is.
Oh,
There was no...
God.
Yeah.
Fucking love KD.
Is that like a European craft?
That's
Yes.
pretty much the only way to do
Macaroni.
macaroni and cheese. What?
Mac attack.
Lost.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I have the feeling that there's a discussion here being had that's in some kind of secret Canadian code.
So I heard KD, and all I thought was craft dinner.
Hey?
Craft dinner. Okay, it is craft.
Boy, what are you talking about? Canadian code, eh?
Code.
What code?
Okay, hello, Swedener. Get out of here.
What?
You're from Sweden,
What?
man. That was not a Canadian
No, I'm
accent.
from
Take
Sweden,
that guy.
Could be worse. Could be Quebec.
From Sweden, bork.
now you went to Russian.
How much have you drank? Only one glass, really?
No, he has had approximately
I'm
three
pretending to be the
alcohols.
Swedish. I'm pretending to be the Swedish chef. Shut up.
Skadoo.
I actually insulted I actually insulted accidentally, not purposely, a Swedish exchange student at my university by asking her if she was wearing an apron. Apparently she was wearing dungarees. I said, you can't really blame me because you aren't technically the first Swedish person to go around dressed like a chef. Then she didn't realize I was a Swedish chef.
Oh man, there was.
Did you? No, Epi, did you make a joke? You need to make a joke about Muslims taking over her country. That's how you really get them to hate you.
Oh, I should. I was trying to be on. No, that was unintentional though. I was actually trying to be on my best behavior. It was just like gentle ribbing. I could have gone the Muslim approach. But that would have been That would have definitely been intentional.
There was an occasion a while back when Zomget Chris put out call out to her the people that were her followers on YouTube, asking them what questions she'd like them to answer. And she when she made the video, she was like, I don't know why most of the people asked me to just say moose and squirrel.
Moose and squirrel.
She got the right accent. God, clear my throat. That was bad.
she Christina Rad now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christina Rad?
And still the bomb.
Mom.
She is the bomb.
Oh yeah.
I thought you said mom.
Oh no, she's the bomb.
I was like, why did you say mom?
She's old school YouTuber. Like, oh, I really like her stuff.
Yeah, someone got it to Chris. Has she made anything in the past few years?
The last thing I know of that she made was, good grief, 4 or 5 years ago? Last time I remember seeing something by her?
Last time I remember, she went on to Free Thought Vlogs and then stopped video. And then she stopped making videos.
Yeah, she showed up in
she made a
Debate
video.
Faith quite a few times.
Hang on, what?
Her last video was 1 year ago. It was about Trump's "grab him by the pussy" comment.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
November 2016, right before the election.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's somewhat around, but she's not super active anymore.
Yeah.
I'd love to get her into a hangout.
She used to stop by and debate faith pretty often. If you remember the episode she did where she had the quote-unquote hot, sexy guy's voice reading from Saul, that was AAL from Debate Faith.
Well, Zomget Chris, good old Christina Rad, is one that my wife and I would love to get.
Sorry, you dropped out.
Into a hangout. No, I didn't cut out at all, actually. I wasn't going to say that. Yeah, my wife and I both have a huge crush on her.
I got you.
I mean, into a three.
You're not alone.
Understandable.
You're not alone.
A little bit of sexual things happen, right?
Ooh, hopefully. Yeah,
Wow.
I wish.
He still has a pretty.
She might be a bit too young for you.
He's
That's
probably.
too young for me. No.
Wasn't she like 18 when she was doing her stuff? Like 18, 19?
I think she started at around that, yeah.
Yep, so now she's probably in her mid to late 20s. So that's still pretty. There's nothing creepy there.
She's of age of consent.
Oh yeah, very much so. But yeah, she's yeah. End of statement.
End of statement.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I had to tell Jackie who Zomgets Chris was.
Oof.
Really?
Well,
that's unfortunate.
She's still pretty. Jackie, relative to a lot of us, is still fairly new.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, relative to me in 13.
Yeah. Well, relative to the two of us, everyone's fucking new. Damn near.
In this hangout, yeah. Oh no, not Vic and Kevin. Sorry, that's right.
Yeah, I just didn't go into hangouts until 2014, but I'd been around a long time before that.
That's actually really funny.
Before hangouts were a thing, I was in this before. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna hang on my seniority as a joke because it's funny.
I have to figure out whether it's May or March that I have my 10th year anniversary making videos on this fucking shit.
Let me see.
Can you see when you originally set up your?
Yeah, it's under 13 Heathens. Yeah, somewhere.
On some channels, not all channels show it. 13
Heathens. You can check your own.
13 Heathens channel was created March 29th, 2008. So yeah, a little over a month. Yeah.
If I'm going to do a retrospective, I'm going to have to do it fairly soon then. Oh, hi, Blue.
My channel goes back to January 2007. Yeah, so I'm 11 years old now. Fuck, I've been on YouTube a long fucking time.
Let's see.
I've been here probably the longest.
Yeah, let's see how old Char's channel is.
Joined October 8, 2006. I think I got all of you outdated.
Nice.
No, I think I'm past that. I think before that.
Wait, I can't find you on the Char Beans.
2000 and
Oh, hey, Kizzy.
4 maybe.
Hey, Kizzy,
No,
links
YouTube,
in the description.
YouTube only goes back to 2005. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding your channel. There it is.
Well, yeah.
Let's see if it shows it. December 15th, 2006 is Char.
Oh, see?
November
I
7th.
still got you outdated.
Nodvik wins. Yeah.
Nodvik wins, yeah.
Yeah.
October 8th.
To be fair, I had more than one YouTube channel and had to consolidate them later.
So did Jordy, right? Your
Yeah.
Jordy.
Oh, yeah.
Your
I
channel
had-
isn't your first
Oh
one.
god, no! I made like probably like 6 channels before I ever ended up with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Do
had
you
one
remember?
in 2000. I think I had one in 2002 that I couldn't. I just killed it.
I don't remember my original account name. I think it was Wada Wada.
Wada.
Oh lord, I can't even remember what my old
Jordy,
name
do you
was.
remember when you made your first channel on YouTube?
Well, I remember back in the day when YouTube used to be like the 3 panels. When you would see like when YouTube videos used to show all 3 of the thumbnail panels, and that was like when all you could find was like crumpy videos. Ugh.
I remember when the God, I don't know the name of the shade of the color that the old Windows Media Player, like the original Windows Media Player app had for the slider bar, but that color was around the videos. I think that might have been early 2005, like when YouTube was literally brand new.
Yeah, I also was first happened across when it was brand new, to the point that I looked at it, I'm like, what's this, like 5 fucking videos? What the hell do I want to be on this shit for? This will never take off. Famous last words.
Yeah, were you not there for Let's Play Oregon Trail?
I don't remember.
That was like the first popular YouTube series. It was great.
Wait, was it called Let's Play? Is that how far back Let's Play?
Okay, well, look, Kevin.
No, it was Let Us Play Oregon Trail, but
wow, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, Let's Play goes back really far because like Something Awful was basically the form, like the start of Let's Play.
Yeah, Let's Play started on a forum.
Around for eternity. Yeah.
Let's Play started off on a forum with screenshots back when dial-up was the popular way to have internet.
Wow. Yeah.
And isn't Something Awful like a million years old?
I don't know. I don't know about Something Awful. I don't think I've actually ever made an account on Something Awful.
No, you need to pay. You need to pay to get onto Something Awful.
Really?
Yeah, then I definitely haven't.
Cliff.
Yeah.
I have to say, what's the name of the Canadian intelligence agency? The CIA? Really?
What?
I wasn't trying to dignify that with a response, Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie, get it. I swear, one of these days I'll be on that list too. Get it. Get it.
Okay, no, it made me laugh a little bit.
I think I know how to get on the end.
I'm offended.
I think I know how to get on the list pretty easily, but it's too much. I couldn't possibly do it.
You're appropriating my Canadian culture.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think Let's Play dates back to when games would come with internet time when you bought them.
Oh.
Internet time? What? Oh, like those AOL discs you'd get in the mail where it said like 2,000 free hours online or something like that.
Yeah, like when you would buy a game, you would get like 200 hours of internet time with the game.
Yeah, basically like the same thing as the AOL discs where it was dial-up. You dial in to a modem and it would count the hours you were connected to it, and you could get a certain amount of time free.
Yeah, during that time period,
I
don't worry
still
about that
have
shit.
a few of
Net
those,
zero.
dude. I think I have a Net Zero disc, but I have like 5 AOL discs. Not here. They're in my collection of stuff that's still at my mom's house in Wisconsin.
Maybe that's why Baldur's Gate didn't get as big as some of the other games back then, because it didn't come with internet time.
Oh God!
Actually, Baldur's
Diablo 2, man.
Actually, Baldur's Gate was in and of itself pretty big for the kind of game it was. There were actually really large and involved modding communities surrounding the game too.
Yeah, but I mean that game got really big like after it was no longer officially. I don't know how to say. Like, it was no longer the flagship product of the company when it started.
Oh well, yeah, absolutely. It got old enough that they weren't going after people trying to mod the game.
Yeah. That being said, it was a really good game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun.
You want to feel really old?
Yeah.
My students were having a discussion last week. These are all 12 and 13-year-old boys.
Oh God. Okay.
They're talking about how they want to see the new Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, yeah, it's never going to be as good as the original. And they're like, the original? I'm like, yeah, it's Robin Williams. And they're like, who's Robin Williams?
Oh my God, kill me now.
I played the board game.
I don't want to hear you say that.
When I was like 6 years old, I played the board game before the movie came out with my cousins.
If I was in that position,
okay, I feel old. Fuck you.
Gav, if I was in that
I do not want to hear about people who don't know who Robin Williams is.
Oh,
exactly.
hang on.
I don't
Kevin.
know. I don't know how you didn't fail all of your students after that.
Who's saying I did?
What? 13. Nice.
Oh, okay, Kevin, I gotta wonder, what animal destroyed your house first when you played the game?
I don't remember. Monkey, I did fucking... This is like 96, 97, so...
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
You know the way?
Where's the way? Let me show you the way.
I hear papers being gone through. Are you filing your taxes while you're in the Hangout?
Oh, fuck, that reminds me. I have to do
I'm
Jackie's
looking
taxes.
for
Shit.
something.
Fuck you, 13.
I have a copy of Oregon Trail on an 11-inch floppy disk somewhere in this box.
Oh, nice window, bro. I like your window. I like your kittens.
Looks like he lives in a hotel room.
Kind of.
Right?
Except for the door. The door is obvious.
I was talking about the curtain color.
Yeah.
He doesn't live in a hotel room. He only stole the curtains from the hotel room.
Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, my first Oregon Trail was one of the games I grew up with too, but I had it on Mac on a CD, like 97 or so.
Here's the boot disk to one of my first computers.
Yeah, okay.
Was that any... down a little bit.
I was going to ask...
MS-DOS startup, nice shit.
Now, here's the question. Was that
Is it
next to Carmen?
1981?
But when you're looking for that, did you find Carmen Sandiego? That's what I want to know.
I do have a Carmen Sandiego disc in here somewhere. I have not come across it during this particular search.
Oregon Trail was the first adventure survival game.
Yes, it was.
My first computer was a Tandy 1000 PC from 1984 that my mom brought home from her work. This was before my family even got their first computer, so and it took like 5 1/4-inch floppies. And I'm trying to remember some of the games that were on there, but the first video game that I ever remember playing was a game called Robot Odyssey. If you know the Learning Company, that was one of their first ever games. And it was basically like where you where you wire logic gates together to like program robots to solve puzzles. Credit that game for getting me into computers and ultimately setting me on a path towards majoring in computer science was that game, Robot Odyssey.
Kevin, were you one of the people who played Snood?
Don't know what that is.
What?
I can't seem to find Oregon Trail, but I do have my Ethernet adapter stuff.
Oh,
why do you have these things?
Nostalgia, motherfuckers.
Somewhere in this house, I should still have my token ring connectors.
My first computer was a ZX81. My first computer was a ZX81, 81 being the year it came out.
Spectrum?
Before the Spectrum, but yeah, the Spectrum came later on.
If you want to talk about Ethernet adapters, one of the discs that I had for the Tandy 1000 PC I mentioned, which ran DOS, obviously, was the TCP stack for like connecting to the internet at the time. Like it wasn't part of the OS; it was on a floppy. The TCP/IP protocol was on a floppy that you had to put in and load.
That's what this is.
Yeah, that's basically what that is.
That is exactly what this is.
Crazy shit. Oh, fuck, WinTCP. Yeah, awesome. Sorry, I'm nerding out right now, but yeah.
Anyway, the next machine I had, which was the first good computer, because the ZXE one was rubbish. It was really poor, but it was interesting. And it was the VIC-20, which was the early. That was what came before the Commodore 64. Then I had a Commodore 64, then an Amiga, then I got a PlayStation, then I got a PC.
You got a PlayStation before PC?
It's huge.
That's weird.
Love that.
My first PC took cassette tapes instead of discs.
Yep.
Way before PlayStation.
Yeah, well, that was it. I mean, I think possibly the worst game I've ever played. It was on the Commodore 64, and it was Predator. So what you did, you loaded it on tape, and you would load it, and when it got to the end, when it got to a certain point, it would say reset counter. So you press the button on the counter, and then you would press, and then it would, press space to start. So you press space and you restart the tape again, and it starts loading it in because it's all machine code. So it would load it in, and then you would get to play the game. And then when you died, you had to wind the tape back to the point where the counter was set to 0 and press play to be able to load up that level again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard to get into the game.
I don't think I had any games on cassettes. We had software, but they were little mini VHSs basically. But the tape casing, I guess, was white and with a translucent front end. I remember that.
The very first computer of sorts that I got to use, you had to fucking program in the game every time you booted it up.
Yeah, that was the ZX81 type thing.
I remember we had I think we had like 19 different cassettes, but I remember 7 of them were the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Okay.
That's a pretty awesome memory to have.
I love the Encyclopedia Britannica. I granted I'm a nerd, but that's entirely different.
Oh, I still fight. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I still fight over the pronunciation of GIF.
GIF?
No, GIF.
No, this is GIF.
Wait,
hang on.
Wait,
no,
sorry,
no,
I was talking to Jackie. What's with the peanut butter? Peanut butter?
I was eating it with a spoon a bit ago.
Okay, Nodic, let me explain this to you. It's GIF, and the reason why it's GIF is the same reason why it's gigabyte and gigahertz. Because in computers, apparently gigabytes and gigahertz, if they are pronounced with G, then fuck you. GIF is pronounced with a J.
1.21 gigawatts.
No, it can't be gigabytes because that sounds too much like a racial slur.
But it is gigabyte, just like gigahertz.
1.21
electricity,
gigabytes.
dude. People but just pronounce it with a G instead of a J. The proper pronunciation should be gigabyte, so fuck off.
Gigabyte.
Oh wait, I just said oy vey. Is that racist?
So if you're going to call it gigabyte, I'm going to call it a fucking GIF.
Oh, hold on. Mr. Pluto the dog said, are we going to do baby boomer nostalgia for the rest of the show, or can we go back to discussing DDC, CCP,
Fuck
MSX?
you. I'm not a baby boomer. I'm Generation XY.
He is Gen X. I don't think we have...
Technically,
Wait, I don't know
Gen
how...
X, but we called ourselves Gen Y because we were the tail end between.
I don't know how old Gav is, but I think he's also Gen X.
I refuse to be called a millennial, but I believe I'm technically considered a millennium.
Go ahead, Gav.
I'm way younger than most people think I am.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, I don't think we have any boomers in here. Actual boomers.
No.
Out of curiosity, what would be considered a boomer?
Well, let me put it this way. I'm 47 now, and I'm not quite old enough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
1950. Hold on. 1950. Yeah, late 1940s.
No, 44 through 56, I think.
Yeah, after World War II. No, it goes later than that. Like after World War II, went in like 45 up until 60s, late 60s, because Brian J. and Exiled were born in the early 60s, and they consider themselves to be boomers.
Yeah, they're just toward the tail end of it, though. I
They're
missed the
toward the
cutoff
tail
by, I think, few years.
Well, my mother was
you're
born
definitely
in
a boomer,
'69, and I know
Gen X.
she was born in '66.
Okay,
she would be it.
Hang on, Lee Russell
Go ahead,
here.
go ahead.
The first generation born after the war. I don't think that's technically true. I think if the war came out while you were a kid, then you actually count. We're talking Star Wars, right?
Well, no. Well, hold on. Like, generations generally considered to be 20 years, so that would be about 45 until 65 is how I would label it. And then Gen X would be 20 years after that. So, and then millennials would then be 85 to 2005.
It's really hard for me to remember what year my mother was born in because she was 29 for between 10 and 15 years.
Wait, I can't believe it. I'm a millennial. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely a millennial. Jackie and I are millennials. Jordy's a millennial.
I think my mother was on the very beginning of Gen X while my dad was on the very end of baby boomers, so it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would be, I guess not, Vic, you would be early millennial then.
Yeah, 1988, so technically I could be considered millennial, but I would prefer to be considered Gen X.
Oh, it's Rev News.
Right, you millennials don't know what you're talking about in terms of politics. Shut up. Sorry, I was channeling Fizz there for a second.
Are you talking about Millennials Plus?
Millennial Plus. Well, I don't know. The tail end of Generation X we refer to as Generation Y. Just Y.
If mobile phones predate you, shut your fucking mouth.
Right? Yeah, they predate me.
That's all I want to say.
Oh, sorry.
Mobile
they
phones
post-date
don't
me. Never mind.
predate.
So, I was thinking backwards. Never mind. I was thinking post-date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was born during what we would consider 1G cell phones, like the very, very earliest cell phones.
When I was a kid, they didn't even have G's yet. Why do you think I call them GIFs?
I had to walk 5 miles to get a condom, uphill in the snow with a
both ways, beating on
With
birthday
a
bags
boner.
in my 3-ring notebook. Sorry. Actually, my father used to tell stories about back when he had to walk to school, and somehow it was uphill both ways. And I used to joke that this shows the brilliance of my dad that he found a way to walk uphill both ways.
See, I can understand those stories because when I was walking 10 miles to school back in Pensacola, just a little ways outside my house, there was a steep downhill, steep uphill, steep downhill, steep uphill, and then it evened out for the rest of the way. So I could claim I walked uphill both ways.
What were you about to say, Gav?
As I say, y'all parents' childhoods were chill. My dad used to give us stories at the dinner table like, you better eat that fish, you know. I had to eat rats and other people when I was in prison. So.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Russia, they didn't feed you in prison, so you kind of had to fend for yourself. So.
Yeah.
In Soviet Russia, prison feeds you.
As opposed to you feeding prison?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way it should have. Yeah.
My dad got a 25-year sentence for having a book that was banned.
Wow.
You must really love books.
You're hardcore.
No, my dad was. I'm not.
I just looked up the Commodore 64, and its CPU was 0.985 megahertz.
Yep.
985 kilohertz.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, when the
Crazy
lightning
shit.
fast 1 megahertz chip came out.
Actually, I was going to ask, was the book C-Spot run by chance?
No, it was not C-Spot run.
Oh, I was pretty sure that was considered to be some kind of like anti-communist book or something like that, because it'd be running from the Gestapo, right?
I was gonna say, what book was it?
Oh wait, wrong country.
It was basically they banned religious literature, and it was a book that was written in Hebrew, so that was kind of a Ted giveaway. Yeah.
Nice.
We actually have a Hebrew book in our house. It's a bunch of nursery rhymes.
Oh, cool. What's it called?
I have no fucking idea. It's written in Hebrew.
Oh.
I know it has a picture. It has pictures in it. We look at the pictures to try to figure out what they are, and there's one with there's some kind of weird addition of the crow and the fox.
Okay. Why do you have this?
Because my wife loves books, and a friend of hers offered to send her a book in Hebrew, and she's like, "Sure, fine." And that's what she got.
She's like a world religions nerd, kind of.
That's what her degree's in.
Yeah.
She and me share that in common. There was actually a movie that took place during the Depression era in the United States, and the Russian government approved its showing in Russia to show how terrible poor people lived under capitalism. But then all the Russians were like, hey, actually, even the poorest Americans can afford a car. This is actually pretty decent. And the Russians are like, fuck this, we're banning it now.
I used to have a book written in 1856, I think it was, on the topic of lycanthropy. Eventually, it completely fell apart because I tried to read it.
I have a medical journal from
how those magical tomes work, you know.
I'm sorry, Gav, what?
I have a medical journal from Tsarist Russia, like 1890s Tsarist Russia, where actually,
wow.
that's kind of funny. It talks about how like you'll go blind if you masturbate, that type of thing.
Wow.
Obviously, long debunked science.
But does it talk about how the body is really a product of materialist dialectic, and really Marxist theory explains how to properly heal oneself?
No, I just said this is from Tsarist Russia, not communist Russia.
Oh, fuck, sorry about that.
This shit talks about how God's creation is perfect and the body is perfect, yet here's all these diseases.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
And it also talks about how, like, if your wife shows signs of depression, it's like you're obviously not beating her hard enough. Like, it's really.
Oh, wow.
It's you know, 100 years makes a difference.
Yeah.
Your wife is depressed? It's harder.
I mean, it's worth pointing out that in the 1860s, 70s, with railway stuff going on, you know, and they were building railways, they were convinced that if you went over 60 miles an hour, you would suffocate.
That was cars.
They said that about 35 miles an hour too, when cars were becoming a thing.
Yeah, right now in Korea, there's widespread phenomenon.
Two at a time, come on.
Oh, I was saying right now in South Korea, there's a widespread phenomenon. Apparently, people believe that if you put your fan on in your room with the doors closed and the windows closed, you'll suffocate to death. I had
the Korean fan death hoax.
Yeah. No, that's a real superstition.
It's an urban legend. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
Is a real thing.
Yes, it is. When I was in Korea,
they actually believe that. You know, people actually, it's complete bullshit. Like, it's not true at all. There's nothing, there's no basis to it. But
I'm not saying it's a real thing that happens. I'm saying the superstition actually exists.
Yeah, one explanation, sorry, Epi, I'll let you go in a second, but one explanation that I've heard for it is that suicide is such a big thing over there because of their cutthroat business culture and academic culture, that the fan death thing is a way that they explain away suicide. It's like, oh, he left his fan on in the room overnight, so he died. He didn't kill himself.
Might there have been a point that they had some kind of fans that were part of heaters that might have been pumping, you know, like, oh shit, what am I thinking? What kind of heaters? The, goddamn brain image.
I don't think so. It's the fans that they're talking about are just the sort of oscillating fans.
I was thinking like propane heaters and something like that.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Yeah. No.
Man, I can't find the picture of the old advertisement for the lightning fast 1 megahertz processor.
Oh well. I'd much rather you find the thing about mouse balls. You know the one.
What thing about mouse balls?
You don't know the old ancient fucking meme about how to replace your mouse balls? The mouse ball replacement one about how to clean your mouse balls?
Oh, mouse balls! That's why we have optical mice now, fuckers. This is the 21st century.
Oh no, there was an ancient thing.
Take it out.
There was an ancient thing about how to clean your mouse balls that sounded dirty as fuck.
Oh yeah.
First, take your balls firmly. Take your ball firmly between your thumb and forefinger, and examine it for any. Yeah, it was a thing. about how to examine your
Just
balls.
roll
Well,
those balls around between your thumb and middle finger, and yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that computers don't have this connector anymore, I'd probably still be using these mice.
That's not true. I've got a friend who just got a brand new Ryzen, fairly top-end motherboard. Still has that plug. It's still got a PS2 in it.
But the mice balls do end up looking pretty nasty eventually.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's why you have to clean your and occasionally replace your balls.
It's not just replace the balls, but also scrape the crap off the.
Yeah, all those dead skin cells like that. That's 1980s dead skin cells stuck to that.
Oh, shut up.
But also,
no, like G-Man, check your balls. Check your balls.
You've also got to scrape the rollers with your finger to get rid of all the crud.
Yep.
I think I've still got a mouse like that in my.
I've got like 6.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't tend to throw away computer things.
You know, a friend of mine, he collects pieces of like old TV equipment, you know, like the BBC use. Because there's a big market for this stuff, you know, people with their own home studios and things like that. And so what happened was the BBC found a piece of old tape in the bottom of a shelf in the back of a storeroom somewhere, and they basically didn't have the equipment to be able to, you know, to use it,
play it, yep.
to be able to read it in order to be able to put it on the you know digital disc format or whatever. So they ended up searching all over the country trying to find anybody that had it. And my friend, my friend's friend had one, and they offered him £25,000 for something he paid like 95 quid for.
See, I would have looked at them and said, for 20,000, you can use it.
Yeah.
Okay, I found some snippets. It is recommended that each servicer have a pair of balls for maintaining optimum customer satisfaction, and that any customer missing his balls should suspect local personnel of removing these necessary functional items.
That would be a great way to piss off someone's computer, wouldn't it? Basically,
yeah.
No, you put Scotch tape over the laser part nowadays.
Yeah.
All right.
If you work at a place with cubicles and shit, and you do that, 99% of the time, after quite a long time of troubleshooting, they will replace the mouse for the person. You'll never even notice the fucking Scotch tape.
Before order, determine type of mouse balls required by examining. The underside of each mouse, domestic balls will be harder and larger and harder than foreign balls. Ball removal procedure differ depending upon manufacturer of the mouse. Foreign balls can be replaced using the pop-off method, and domestic balls replaced using the twist-off method.
Anyway. All right, if we're done talking about fucking mouse balls...
okay, I'm done. Fuck you.
Rev News has asked us what our favorite booze is.
Mine would be Lagavulin.
What is that?
It's a brand of scotch.
Oh, scotch.
Man, you couldn't sound any more pretentious, Epi.
Previous vodka, which I can no longer fucking get.
I disagree. I've had lots of conversations with Epi.
And I should add, I would sound more pretentious if I told you how much a bottle of that costs. Actually, a glass of that at my favorite bar, Stillwell's, a glass of Lagavulin is $18.
Fuck off.
I'm partial to any high quality beer. I'm sure Lee's in the chat. He would appreciate that. I like vodka. I'm really not that picky. Like, I will try pretty much anything. I tend to get vodka a lot and spiced rum as far as liquor goes, but
yeah, you probably drink
yeah,
shit
I'll take
vodka.
anything.
My favorite. Oh.
I've never really been much of a drinker, but what I rather like is Scrumpy. And Scrumpy is cider from somewhere like Somerset. And this is the stuff where, you know, you've got all the bits of apple core still in it. You know, you can see like lumps of it floating around. It's like OJ with the, you know, with the bits in it. But this stuff is so strong that you have a glass. If you were to have a pint of that, you would, it would be like 1970s vapor trail music videos. That's what your eyesight would go to.
I like
type put that in.
sourpuss. There's a specific drink we use it with. It's raspberry sourpuss, raspberry vodka, and then you make a liter of blue Kool-Aid. It's basically
sourpuss. Are we talking about Steve again?
Yeah. No, it's just like sour liqueur. You dump a half a bottle of that into a jug, and you dump a half a bottle of raspberry vodka, and then you make a full liter of blue Kool-Aid. It looks like this velvety, like purple, like liquid, and it tastes pretty good. But you need to be very careful with it.
A friend of mine came to visit me from Japan, and I said, would you bring some proper Japanese sake? And she brought a couple. She bought, and they're in like little plastic, little cardboard boxes, like you get juice for kids at school. Don't mix them up, folks. But so she got me some sake. I didn't really like it that much, but what the other one was sake liqueur, and that was really nice.
Depends on how long the rice was chewed for and how good it tastes later.
Mm.
If you don't know the real expensive sake, the normally when you're making alcohol, you just add whatever microorganism you're going to use to ferment it, and then just leave it to sit in the barrel. But for a really good expensive sake, they don't add anything to it. They just have someone chew on it for a while and then spit it into the basically the bin of water.
And actually, to answer the question/comment to Cliff's earlier, Sour Pussy was actually one of the Bond villains.
Yeah.
Bad joke for bad joke. There we go.
Yeah.
Since I'm gonna finish.
Actually,
I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night.
Good night, Cliff.
Yeah. The way that's made is actually a lot more well known now, because that movie Your Name took off so big in the West, didn't it?
Yeah. Your name was actually one of those things where I was like, I finished watching it. Me and my friend actually went to like a theater to watch it, and we didn't know anything about it. And I walked out and I was like, oh, this is okay. It wasn't like amazing. And then retroactively, it got better and better and better for me for whatever reason.
I really enjoyed it.
What drink are you talking about, Jordy?
Your Name?
No. We were talking about a movie.
Oh.
It's like an anime anime.
Yeah.
Well, there's been no sign of that troll for a while. I guess their mommy told him to go to bed. Huh.
He had some rank man boobs on him. When he turned on his camera.
Okay. This is why I turn off the video. I've been porn bombed before from that shit.
Turned on his camera, and there was like Apple headphones and man boobs. I was like, look, this is fun.
Yeah, this is why I turn the shit off. Don't have to see that shit.
Good call.
Kevin, did you ever watch Yojo Senki?
I'm sorry?
No, I think Kevin was the one I recommended Yojo Senki to out of the Kagito people. He might have walked away. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, whoever it was, they are making a sequel to the first season in the form of a movie this year.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to drink, so it's been a long time, but every once in a while I'll still go for a touch of vodka if I can find some good stuff. There are a few things I'll still have an occasional drink of, but the sugar alcohol isn't nearly as bad as regular sugars. But I'm still, even then, shouldn't, but that doesn't stop me from taking now and then.
13, can we have a repeat of that infamous Thanksgiving hangout?
Oh, no, God, no. We do not speak of what happened in that hangout. We do not speak of it.
I love you, 13.
Shut up. Never happened. I'm in denial.
It never happened. It was offline. It didn't happen.
I'm in denial. It is I must make my patronage to Egypt patronage. What am I saying? My journey to Egypt whenever we have this discussion. Fuck it. I don't know.
Oh. By the way, Kevin, I figured I might join you in being the only other person in this hangout drinking. So Cheers.
Kevin, I
I
also made a
finished my
kratom tea.
wine. I'm having some kratom now. I'm done with.
I also made a kratom tea.
That looks like a cup of semen. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Wait, you made tea dirty?
Hang on.
Yeah, barely.
Wait,
I'm
hang
actually
on.
like just parachuting
People
it tonight.
can't really see what we're talking about here, so let me just lock the screen for a second. Lift your glass again for a second. Oh shit, too high. God damn it. Now I'm gonna have to redo
What is
it.
that? What do you got?
Hang on.
Oh, it's or I think in English it's called Zambuca.
Oh, you're gross. You're disgusting.
What is that?
Zambuca is black licorice, like a liqueur.
And it looks like semen. Anyway.
What kind of liquor is it?
Black licorice.
It tastes like black licorice. It's made of grape. I think it's made of the.
Fascinating. Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of like distilled alcohol, fermented alcohol. Well, all alcohol is fermented, but from like different like obscure cultures. Like practically every different corner of the globe, like every different culture has its own alcohol that's specific to that culture. And there's a lot of stuff that most people haven't heard of before, which is interesting.
Red wine.
Red wine.
Red wine makes me feel so fine. It keeps me hopping and all that. Anyway.
Remember, Jordy, when we annoyed the shit out of Red in that hangout with that song?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you ever watched,
I think I was like hammered or something. You're just like red wine.
Walking around, man.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yes, it was. There was a drunk Bears night, I think, too.
Yeah,
probably. We haven't had one of those in a long time. Hell, I think we
God.
only streamed one. Actually, we need to update it for current events, don't we?
Yeah, I've been thinking of, I need to update the deck, but I've been thinking of also, like, making another deck for just the community at large and running, like, Great Debate Cards Against Humanity nights.
That could be fun.
Because, fuck it, this community really needs more stuff outside of Club Steve.
Oh, God, yeah.
I like how in that link that he just sent to explain the Iraq drink he's drinking, it has color transparent right under the picture. That's not fucking transparent. That's white and viscous.
The reason why it's white is in tradition, the Zambuca itself, the Arak itself, is actually the see-through, but traditionally when you're pouring the drink in, you're supposed to mix it in with water, and after that it turns white.
Oh, so it's like what's that yellow? What's that green shit? That's like 80 proof or something, or not 80 proof. Like it's really strong. Oh, absinthe.
Yeah, absinthe.
Oh yeah, they're talking about absinthe in the chat. Absinthe is really interesting because there's a lot of sort of urban legends surrounding it regarding hallucinations and stuff.
It only happens with the right type.
Yeah, but the thing about absinthe is the active component in wormwood is the ingredient that's alleged to cause those hallucinations. But the the pharmacologically active ingredient in wormwood is called thujone. And thujone is not a hallucinogen. It's actually a convulsant. It's a GABA antagonist. It does the opposite of what alcohol does.
Well, if you get the right kind of absinthe, it has both wormwood and ginseng in it, and I think it has something to do with both those together.
I don't. It's ginseng. The only thing I know about what ginseng does as a drug is it's an antiemetic, meaning it is anti-nausea. As far as if there's any interaction between it, I've never heard of it, and I've read an awful lot regarding like pharmacology and psychopharmacology. So I'm not exactly sure. I personally am convinced that it's mostly an urban legend, but there's really interesting trip reports regarding absinthe that I don't have.
Kevin,
go ahead.
You know why? Because most of these people, when they made absinthe, initially, because it was all like people making it out of their fucking bathtubs.
There might have been other shit in it too that had nothing
stuff,
to do with the wormwood.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, the active component in wormwood is just going to make you have seizures if you have too much of it. So I don't know where the hallucinogenic shit's coming from.
I've only been drunk twice. Once was with you guys, and once was the other time. And I was already quite wasted at the point, but I did have some German absinthe that was illegally imported, and it was the type that is not legal to import, that had wormwood and ginseng, and I can say from that particular experience, it didn't cause me any hallucinations that I remember.
It just get you super fucked up. Like it's 60%, right? It's like 120 proof. That's what it's supposed to be.
It was more than that. It was more than that. It was like 83% if I remember right. Like it was a ridiculously high number. But I do know I was already rather wasted by the time I started drinking the absinthe, so the taste didn't bother me. But I have to look it up because it was ridiculously high number. I remember it being in the 80s.
I remember I walked into a hangout and I like just started drinking absinthe. Like I had some. And I was talking to Skyzor and Mimica, and we all started yelling at each other. It was so funny.
Stizor, man, fucking crazy Stizor. Yeah,
I think he was. I think it's
yeah. The type I had, 82.3%.
Sorry, hold on. Go ahead, Epi.
I was just saying, Stizor is probably the only person on Google Plus who has ever called me a sand nigger.
Fuck on you, fucking side nigga! What the fuck you think you're talking about, the faggot? Shut the faggot!
I told him, hey, the proper nomenclature is Dune Coon. Thank you very much.
Dune Coon, that's great.
Wow.
Jesus
sorry.
Christ.
Hold on. The last time I had absinthe, I just had to say this, was I think 2015 when Jackie and I still lived in the mountains. It was before we moved into the house that we lived in up there. We went to the bar in town that we always used to go to, and one night, they usually don't serve absinthe there. They don't even have it. But one night, one of the bartenders made absinthe, and they had it in like a little like a jar, like a bell jar with a spigot on it. And they were selling it for like $9 a glass. And there was this like indie film crew that was at the bar that night, and they were buying people drinks left and right. And they bought like half of our drinks that night because they love Jackie for whatever reason.
I wonder why they love Jackie.
They bought us like two glasses of absinthe. Like I was like, thanks guys. Their film actually is on the film they did was on Netflix now that they filmed in that town. So
nice.
Yeah, cool, really cool guys.
Bohemian absinthes are up to 89.9% alcohol by volume. Jesus fucking
Revenues, fuck off, twat.
Fuck off.
You talking about, you fucking Yankee? Get the fuck out of my fucking hangout, twat.
Okay, that's it, Kevin. I'm going to kick you for pretending to be Sty because I can't stand Sty's voice that much.
I'm actually okay with Stizor.
I just watched that there's there's an episode of a hate club chat that I think Callance has on his YouTube channel that I've posted a few times before, but it's Demon Cullen going off on Stizor for like an hour. I just watched that like last night. It's funny as shit. Like this is the great debate that I remember that we're never gonna have again.
No, we will eventually backslide to the point that we can just be vicious twats to one another again.
Fucking hate club, man. Like that's another thing I've been thinking of doing is with my channel is running like GDC Blood Sports a la Andy Worski, and just having like a couple people on who just like fucking hate each other and just let them go at each other for like an hour for views.
But you're not gonna, no moderation at all. You're just like,
no moderation. Just be like, as long as you don't say anything that'll get my channel shut down, like fine.
Why don't you just create a new channel?
I don't even care. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, creating a new channel though seems a little extreme. I don't think it's something you should do lightly.
Like, no, I'm not worried about that. Like, as long as you don't like show your junk on channel or some shit like that, like I don't care. It'd be just Problem is actually getting people in there because most of the people that I know of in the community on G Plus who hate each other won't talk to each other. Like, let's get Sam and Blue in here.
Okay.
Let's get Steve and Cerberus Hex in here.
If y'all don't...
Go ahead, 13.
God
please.
damn it. If y'all don't mind chilling the fuck out for a few minutes, I actually wanted to see if I could ask Gav about something.
Go ahead, please.
I'm chill.
Because all we hear is like U.S. horse shit here, and I was wondering what actually happened over there after Trump made his stupid pronouncement.
Oh, about Jerusalem. Yeah.
I mean, look, people like in the lead up to Trump's speech, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the naysayers and the doomsdayers are like, oh, if it does this, it's going to increase violence in the region. You know, the Palestinians will become radicalized. Turkey will break off ties with us. And Iran will threaten to annihilate us. So basically, it's going to be like any other fucking Tuesday.
Nice.
Oh.
Great.
So most of what we've been hearing over here is mostly horseshit and hype as usual then.
Well, I'm sure the coverage was selective. Like, oh, Palestinians are rioting. They do that every single fucking day for the last 70 years.
Oh, okay.
It depends on what coverage you're watching. Like Fox News is going to say one thing, the ultra lefty HuffPost and BuzzFeeds are going to say completely something different. You're not going to
I
get.
was just wondering if there was any actual effect over there from it.
No, so no, was there any actual effect? Not really. I mean, it's where I lived. You wouldn't even know if you weren't watching.
Unsurprising. Wait, where do you live?
I live in the central coastal plain. I live about 10 minutes from the ocean.
Out of curiosity, wasn't America pretty much already on the side that Jerusalem is Israel's capital anyway? I think I remember that.
Most people here, that's what they would say. They don't know that it's Tel Aviv.
No, actually.
Hang on. How we like Gavit talk?
No, Jerusalem has been our capital since 1948. But most countries locate their embassies in Tel Aviv for political.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I mean, I appreciate that. So I had very mixed feelings about. I actually appreciate an American president taking that stance publicly. I do not appreciate that it was Donald fucking Trump.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Barack Obama said the exact same thing on the campaign trail before he became president. He just never said it while he was president.
Yeah, and I can imagine what the reason for that was.
Political backlash.
Wow, Demon Con hasn't uploaded in 9 years. Whatever happened to him?
You could ask Jordy. I wouldn't know.
I think I still have him on Skype though.
He was a weird guy. He kind of fell off the grid.
He had some fun videos though.
As far as practical effect on the day-to-day reality here, it was negligible if it existed at all, to answer your question.
Oh, okay. I was kind of wondering about that because over here they've been making it sound like from the moment he said that the whole area erupted out of nowhere, and yeah, I figured that probably was horseshit.
Well, define whole area and define erupted, because I mean it's it's very funny because like how local news here was handling it, it was kind of jubilant and celebratory, but like you turn on CNN and it's like, doom, they're fucked.
Yeah.
And it's
the way I would respond to the doomsayers would be simply this. Well, don't you believe that Islam is a religion of peace? And if Islam is a religion of peace, then wouldn't their religion kind of be against rioting in the way they are? And because they're super liberal about their view of Islam, they would back off.
Yeah, well, it's. I had that conversation earlier today too. It's hilarious. This friend of mine wrote this really lengthy kind of blog post about how outraged she is about how Muslims are portrayed as terrorists in hit TV shows like Homeland and movies and stuff. I was like, this is art imitating reality. I would take you a little bit more seriously if you were more outraged at your co-religionists that actually become terrorists rather than TV shows.
Yeah. A while ago, I was in a hangout with Gav and that dipshit, Mike the Monk. And Mike was asking these really charged questions pertaining to Islam. And I tried to play, the usual liberal, well, it's unfair to do this and unfair to do that and yada, yada, yada. And then Gav kind of called me onto the carpet about some of the shit that's written in that fucking book of theirs. And there's really no way to get around some of the shit that's just, it's there. And it really changed my fucking tune.
Was Mike trying to defend Islam?
No, he was trying to do the standard American, all Muslims are evil bullshit talking point, which, no, not all Muslims are evil, but if they go strictly on what's in that book, there's not much leeway to not be a douche.
Well, there is one bit of leeway. There's only one group of Muslims, and they're considered heretics, but regardless, who actually do tend to be very pacifistic compared to most mainstream Muslims, and they're known as the Ahmadiyya, and that's because they actually have later prophecy revealed where they're actually instructed to be in a realm of peace, as opposed to mainstream Muslims who have an Islam that's before and an Islam that's after the capture of Mecca.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What people don't realize is like, well, the Quran's no worse than the Bible. Well, one, that's arguable. We can actually have a debate about that, but it's kind of irrelevant when you think about it. The totality of the teachings of Islam are not found in the Quran. Maybe about a quarter of Islam is found in the Quran. The real heinous, barbaric shit is in the Hadith and in what's called the Sirah, which is Islam's official biography of Muhammad. People make that claim all the time. It's like, well, Christianity has done really, really bad stuff. It's like, yeah, but I'd still rather have as a neighbor a guy that follows a hippie virgin carpenter rather than a guy who follows a mass murdering warlord.
Among other things.
Yeah, we'll leave Aisha out of it for now.
You racist!
Yeah, people call me racist all the time. Don't really care.
I thought
that's sad.
No, but you're a Jew, and because racism is prejudice plus power, you can't be racist.
Well, yeah, here's the thing, like, to the people who say shit like that, Epi, Jews can either, depending on, their whim, will either be defined as a minority race who are part of the oppressed, or they can be defined as white who are part of the privileged because, Jews, money, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because people are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really. People, I made a comment in the chat earlier. It's like, oh, you can't make jokes about Italians or whatever. You're minimizing them. I'm like, that's a compliment. I hate humans.
I got most of the Italian jokes that I know of that people think are really racist I got from Fabio.
I love this one Italian joke. It's about an Italian soldier, a German soldier, and a Japanese soldier taken by the Allied forces in World War II. The German soldier is tortured for 24 hours, but then he relents and he confesses his nation's secret. Then the Japanese soldier is taken in. He's tortured for 48 hours and then confesses his nation's secret. The Italian soldier is taken in for a whole week and doesn't confess anything. Then when the German and Japanese soldier ask, hey, how are you able to withstand all that torture? He says, oh, I was going to spill my guts in the first 2 minutes, but they tied up my hands and I couldn't communicate anything.
Italiano.
I got one. I've been told I'm going to hell for this one. Why do Native Americans hate snow?
Why?
It's white and on their land.
It's white and on their land, dude.
I called it.
How do you know an Italian has a flat tire?
Oh.
How do you?
They go wop, wop, wop.
Oh.
Wait, how come in Saudi Arabia driver's ed and sex ed aren't taught on the same day? They don't want to tire out the camel.
Hold on. Sorry, say that again. I was typing Jordy.
Okay, in Saudi Arabia, why can't they teach driver's ed and sex ed on the same day? They don't want to tire out the camel.
Oy vey.
Gewalt.
How come? Why is the camel called the submarine of the desert?
Why?
It's full of Arab seamen.
Oh.
In the Navy. You can sail the 7 seas.
A German, a Frenchman, and a Jew are walking through the desert. The German says, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I need a glass of beer. The Frenchman says, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I need a glass of wine. The Jew says, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I must have diabetes.
Sadly, I know that feeling.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Whoops.
That's okay.
That's offensive. We need to kick you out now.
I poke more jokes about the hole in my head from the stroke than anyway. It's interesting.
Is that your arm wiggling because of the stroke, or are you just happy to see me?
Hey, Gabrielle.
The world may never know.
Yeah.
Well, I forget this. I forget exactly how to phrase this joke, but no, never mind.
You made it fail.
I want to hear it, but
okay, you warmed us up at the preview. Now get to the feature.
All right.
Foreplay fail here. Come on, dude.
All right. So an Israeli travels to America, and he's asked by the TSA agent occupation, and he said, "No, I'm just visiting."
Oh.
That's cute. That's cute.
Not just visiting.
Well, if there's a German, an Arab, and an Israeli on a plane. Yeah, I got this. It's traveling across the ocean. One of the engines dies, and the pilot comes back. He says, "We're gonna have to throw some stuff overboard, so we can keep flying." The German says, "Oh, no problem. I'll throw out some of my beer. Plenty of that in my country." So they throw out his beer. They keep going. About an hour goes by. Another engine fails. The captain comes back. "Oh, we lost another engine. We need to lose some weight. Need somebody to throw something out." The Arab guy stands up. He says, "I'll throw out my camel. We have plenty of camels in my country." So he throws out his camel. And they keep on flying. Another hour, another engine dies. The pilot comes back, says, "Oh, we need to throw out some more stuff. We're too heavy." The Israeli gets up, grabs the Arab, throws him out of the plane. "We have entirely too many of those in my country."
Oh!
That's about right.
Wait, here's one. So a Lebanese guy, a Palestinian, and a Syrian are on a beach in Lebanon. They walk and they find a magic lamp in the beach. One guy rubs it, and out comes a genie. The genie says, "I'm going to give each of you one wish." The Palestinian says, "I want me and all of my Palestinian brothers in Lebanon to go back to Israel, and I want you to kick all the Jews out so we can have our country back." So the genie grants the wish. And then the Syrian guy says, "I want ISIS and all these Western invaders out of my country of Syria, and all my Syrian brothers and sisters in Lebanon to go back to Syria." The genie grants the wish. And the Lebanese guy asks the genie, "So you're telling me right now there are no Palestinians and no Syrians in my country?" And the genie says yes. And the Lebanese guy says, "I'll have a Coke."
So a priest, a rabbi, and an imam walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Is this some kind of fucking joke here?" That's all. You're welcome.
Pity claps. Pity claps. Pity claps.
Yeah,
that was the point.
That's not as funny as so a seal walks into a club.
So a seal walks in. Oh God! Shut up.
Are you Nodvik, are you hungry? Should we send you food?
Yes.
There's the one about the Jewish couple that goes to their rabbi before their wedding. Rabbi, once we're married, can we dance at our wedding? No, it's immodest. But we can have sex, right? Yes, yeah, you can have sex. Absolutely, you can have sex. No problem. We can have sex doggy style. Sounds good. Absolutely. It's great. No problem. Can have sex with her on top. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. With whips, chains, whistles, and yo-yos. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Can we do it standing up? No. Why not? Could lead to dancing.
That's cute.
Yo-yos. Sex with yo-yos. That sounds fun.
Okay,
I'm interested.
So a rabbi has his son come back from a trip to Israel, and he finds out that his son is a Christian, and he's distraught, so he goes to his rabbi friend, and he tells him about this, and his rabbi friend says, "What a coincidence. My son became a Christian when he came back from Israel. Maybe we should ask the chief rabbi." So they go to the chief rabbi, and they say, "Hey, our sons went to Israel. They came back, and now they're Christians." So the chief rabbi says, "Oh, what a coincidence. My son went to Israel, and he became a Christian." So they go up to God, and they say, "Hey, God, our sons went to Israel, and they became Christian." And God is like, "What a coincidence. My son went to Israel, and now he's a Christian."
Yeah.
Pity claps, people. Pity claps.
Pity clap indeed.
Did you follow the Mideast Beast? It's kind of like the Onion, but for the Middle East.
Oh my God, I have to know more about this.
It's fun. They had a headline like a year ago, a satire headline. It said, "Jesus finally returns, is promptly stabbed by Palestinian teen."
That's terrible. That's hilarious. Terrible.
And there's one, like, you know who Mia Khalifa is, right? She's the Lebanese porn star. They had one that, like, ISIS issues fatwa against Mia Khalifa after vigorously investigating her films.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, 13, if you had monetization on this, YouTube would have shut down your account.
Yeah, okay.
We're all very, 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 very racist people. It's okay.
Well, you know what they say. If you want to hear Muslim jokes, ask somebody from a Muslim family. If you want to hear Jewish jokes, ask somebody from a Jewish family. If you want to hear atheist jokes, yeah, we never stop telling stupid jokes. Never mind.
What is the best part about dating black girls?
Ass.
You never have to meet the father.
I gotta have to meet the father. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of ass, did I mention Jackie and I went to Hooters for the first time tonight?
They have good burgers.
They have good food. Their fooders. Their fooders. Lol.
Fooders.
Wow. Yeah.
Know where your brain is.
That's a nice Freudian slip.
Yeah, their food's not bad. Yeah. It was. Neither of us had been there before, but we went to the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach with a couple that we met not too long ago who lives in the area. And there was a Hooters like right next door. So after we were done with the aquarium when it closed, we decided to go there. That was fun.
Next time is the strip club.
I have actually never been to a strip club. The closest I've been to a strip club, there was a titty bar in Ames. There's not a strip club in Ames. That's in Des Moines. But I was one of the times Jackie came to visit me before she graduated. Before we moved in together, she came to Ames. We were bar hopping with some of my friends downtown, and we went to the titty bar. And we walked in the door. This was a weekday, and the guy who was like supposed to be the bouncer, or whatever, was drunk off his ass, like this like creepy middle-aged dude who's like, welcome here, yeah. And we were like, yeah, I think we're gonna go next door. Bye.
That's great. Okay.
That's the closest I've been to. That's the closest I've been to being in a strip club.
You went to a strip club on a weekday. That you're probably.
Well, it wasn't a strip club. It was a titty bar. That's it.
In any case, you're probably seeing the B team. Not that I know.
pretty much. There was like one girl on stage, but I didn't get much of a good look at her. I don't remember that very well. There's actually a strip club on the second floor of like an office building, less than a block from where we live now.
Kevin.
Yeah.
At most titty bars, strip clubs, etc., most of the girls aren't all that dramatically attractive. And part of that is that they want them to be more approachable. If they're too attractive, they actually get less tips.
I don't know. I don't know much about what this place or what it was, but this is fucking Ames, Iowa. It's a small college town, so.
But
the only thing I really know about strip clubs
I've known a couple women that have worked at them, and that's generally how it goes. Is the more average-looking ones get better money.
Yeah, the strip club that a lot of my friends, the strip club that a lot of my friends have been to, when I lived there, was in Des Moines, and it was called the Lumberyard. You can figure out why.
So you're saying
I've never been to a strip club or.
So you're saying there's a strip club in a college town. So what you're saying is one of those could have a titty bar. So what you're saying is one of those girls could have definitely been working their way through med school.
Iowa State doesn't
try that. We tried.
But yeah, paying off their student loans probably wouldn't surprise me. It's a pretty small hole in the wall place. It wasn't even in campus town, which is where most students go. It was downtown. So
they call me Champagne.
Sorry, yeah, I'm guessing the average clientele was more likely to be majority townies rather than students, or at least older students. So
townies.
No, yeah,
I've never been to a strip club or a titty bar, but one thing I do know is my fishing buddy Tom back in Florida. He used to go to strip clubs on Thursdays because he liked the big women.
Big women.
I was only ever in a strip club once, and that was to retrieve one of my students who wasn't supposed to be there. Boy, was he really shocked to look up and see his rabbi standing there.
Oh, hello. I'm here. I'm doing research. Yay!
Hello, Rabbi Kosnov.
I was going to do a report on sin, so I'm just in here doing research I expected in the morning. Shit! Now I have to write it? Yep.
Oh, no,
Well played.
Come out baby tantrum style was kind of epic.
Yeah, around here we mostly seem to have a lot more Asian massage parlors than we have strip clubs, but there is the one right down the street. Southern California.
Massage parlor, my ass.
Exactly.
You'll get a red rope.
It's a matter of what they're massaging.
That's the one thing I love about the recycling center that I go to every other week. Always has a stack of local magazine called the Orange County Weekly next to the cashier window, and when you go to the ads in the back, like half of the ads are either sex shop, weed dispensary, or Asian massage parlor. I'm just like, I like this magazine.
You can go to Tug Maps for that.
It's Rub Maps, Jordy.
Is it Rub Maps? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know that because I do research, science.
Research.
Right.
Don't tell Jackie.
I remember going to strip
club. Links. Shut up.
I remember going to a strip club once, and the only memory I have of there is being extremely disappointed by the nachos.
What did you do? Blackout while masturbating there?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
please repeat that.
I've only been to a strip club once, and the only thing I remember about the experience was being disappointed in the nachos. I really cared very little about the naked women.
Man, I just
that's like my experience at the Hooters restaurant. The burgers were really good. The wings sucked. I did not understand why there were fried pickles on my plate.
Wow.
Saskatchewan does not have strip clubs. I've never been to one.
Neither did Ontario. Well, I was in Ontario at the time. Suffice it to say, I wasn't actually. There's only one stripper I was actually fond of, and that's actually because I was pretty impressed by the way she was so acrobatic. Like, honestly, she could have been in a Cirque du Soleil. Like, I'd forget about the stuff. It was just enjoyable to watch her do work.
I too like to watch French chicks folding themselves in half.
I love me some contortionists.
Hey, Jordy, how big is Saskatchewan?
It's pretty big.
You know how many?
I don't know. I can't give you square mileage.
No, I mean population.
Oh, Saskatchewan? Oh, I don't know, like a little less than a million
Use
people.
Google, motherfucker.
I know, Wikipedia.
Well, Saskatoon has 200,000 people in it, and then I don't know beyond that. I have no idea.
200,000.
Out of curiosity,
okay. Sorry.
Too bad Jordy lives here.
Wow, my hometown has more people.
1,098,000 in Saskatchewan. Oh yeah, I meant to ask about Saskatoon. I'm sorry. Yeah, 200,000. I'm surprised it doesn't have a strip club.
No, it's not that people don't want strip clubs. It's just for some reason Saskatchewan just doesn't want them.
246. Okay, Epi, please go ahead.
Out of curiosity, is it bigger than Manitoba? I'm sorry, Humanitoba.
Humanitoba?
Is it bigger than Manitoba?
People-atoba?
People-atoba, exactly. Sorry,
Manitoba.
Oh yeah, that's very specific.
Gotta be
I prefer to
inclusive
say
here.
people kind, dude.
So Kevin,
Dude, that
I
fucking
laugh.
speech.
I too laugh at Justin Trudeau.
I fucking hate our prime minister so much.
Manitoba.
Justin
Exactly.
Trudeau,
Really, Kevin.
because of that incident, is now the only person to have been awarded the Mangina of the Year award 2 years in a row. Nobody's ever done that before.
128, 1.2 million, or 1.27 million.
Manitoba, yeah. No, Saskatchewan's very
just a little bigger.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why like strip clubs, you can't have strip clubs here, because I know I've talked about this before, but the Sask Party is basically a conservative party that it basically runs on like Saskatchewan first bullshit, which is sort of dumb. It's good locally, but everything else it like doesn't do very well like nationally, and it's like sort of a really conservative party.
Yeah, similar thing to Alberta, right? Because of the oil industry there, right?
Something like that.
Bizarro.
Yes, Trudeau is the bizarro Trump.
Well, y'all.
Actually, I still think he's okay.
Well, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, y'all, that was yawn number 3, which means it's about time to take this shit offline and call it.
Link is in
the chat for anyone out there who wants to jump in after we go off.
After we go off, I won't be able to answer the doorbell.
Big dicks in your ass and bad for your health.
Well, unless there's somebody insanely interesting that wants to join in the last couple of seconds, we're gonna call it.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. In case anyone wants to get their butts
I'm wondering if the troll's still out there.
Fuck the troll.
Oh, that was funny.
Niggers. I'm
So who-
edgy.
God, he was useless.
Yeah.
What do you think has the bigger backdoor, Windows 98 or Justin Trudeau?
Oy vey. I keep saying oy vey. I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, that's cultural appropriation, Kevin.
Kevin.
Man, it's a good thing you didn't go with Windows 2000. That might have won.
Is it just me or
Windows ME, rather. Sorry.
Is it just me or SJW is the new Puritans?
They're the lynch mob. They're the 1860 style racists of today.
Pretty much.
That's not a joke, though.
Jackie just called me K-Goy.
Oh,
God damn it.
No.
What?
No.
He called you what?
K-Goy.
Okay, this, incidentally, for anyone that wants to catch this later or catch what they missed of it, is going to be renamed to the proper episode number because I done fucked up. It's 250.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all have a good night.